Wherever you have us dialed in this evening, thank you so much. Across the Permian Basin, of course, here on News Talk 550 KCRS. You didn't see that, did you? I just made a quick save on my headset. Actually, it was a glove save. It was not a beauty. But a lot of you I know also joining us on the internet, and the good folks with whom we work with our internet service have provided us with an extended base tonight, so that hopefully folks all across the Texas League are joining us and listening to maybe family or friends or just players of whom they are fans. So wherever you have us dialed in all across the Texas League, and in fact all across the country tonight for family and friends of these Texas League All-Stars, what a pleasure it is to welcome you. My name's Bob Hards, I'm the radio voice of the Rockhounds. Of course, normally I don't include that in our broadcast, but we've got a lot of folks I know from outside our normal bounds with us tonight. So whether you're a fan of the Wranglers, the Rough Riders, the Travelers, the Drillers, the Diablos, the Express, the Missions, or the Rockhounds, what a pleasure it is to have you with us. When we return, a quick look at the lineups, the rosters for this ball game, a quick look over our shoulder at the last time that this town and this area, the Permian Basin, hosted the All-Star Game, because that, too, is a really cool perspective. We're playing some baseball. The stars are shining in the Permian Basin from First American Bank Ballpark. Back in a moment when the Budweiser pregame show continues. I don't know what idiot set up this broadcast location, Chris, but somebody shorted my cord. It was me, of course, who was the idiot who set it up. I usually have about 4 feet to work with that, and I made a move and the cord snapped. Oh, man. Yeah, that's right. Well, I set this up after the banquet last night. I guess I should have waited till today. Oh, man. Buddy, I think we'll probably skip the billboard, would be my guess. Yeah, that's good. I'd rather make this a quick pregame anyway. So, yeah, I think we'll just do that just to put Farmers in the break. Yeah, we'll go ahead and plan on it. All right, got it. Your in-studio producer engineer for this Texas League All-Star Game is Chris Marquez, and this radio station is News Talk 550 KCRS, the voice of West Texas and the radio home of the Rockhounds. The last time that this city and this Permian Basin area, and by the way, for those of you who are dialing in and again on our internet connection tonight, if you don't know, Midland, Texas is basically south of the panhandle of the state of Texas, about 4 hours south of Amarillo. And yeah, we are a little ways from almost everything, but right now it's the heart and soul of the Texas League. The last time the Stars came here was 1996, and it was a remarkable evening for one young man in particular, a fellow who is now playing for the Kansas City Royals. His name is Aaron Guile. Aaron was playing for the Midland Angels at that time. He had come up through the Angels organization. We had just finished the series, had that Angels team at Wichita, Kansas at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. And one of the members of the Wranglers was injured. He was scheduled to take part in the All-Star Game and could not go. Well, obviously, Aaron was heading back that way, so he was named, and he'd received plenty of votes for the All-Star Game. Aaron was named to the team and went on to, very deservedly, I might add, win the MVP award for the Western Division. So what sidebars and what stories will unfold tonight remains to be seen. That, of course, was a different ballpark. That was Cubs-Angels-Christensen Stadium. Tonight we welcome you to a facility that we are so very proud of. Co-owner Miles Prentice, who I imagine will join us at some point briefly during our broadcast, was pointing out that very same thing. That place was packed over at Christensen last time that the All-Stars were here with 5,000 fans. Tonight, 6,500 and counting. And remember, folks, this is the smallest market in the Texas League, so going to be a tremendous bunch tonight. We are playing under some cloudy skies, but Mother Nature will cooperate. I'm fully confident in her, and the stars indeed will shine. Again, a lot of folks dialing in from all across the Texas League, so when we get to our lineup cards, we'll get you the first 9 position players and fill in the benches as well. The benches are a little thin. It's a pretty small roster for the All-Star Game, and 8 pitchers for each ball club as well. I mentioned that Frank White of the Wichita Wranglers and Tom Runnels of the first-half champion Tulsa Drillers will co-manage. Bo McLaughlin, the pitching coach of the Drillers, will be on the staff, as will Wichita's outstanding athletic trainer Charles Ledden. Meantime, the host team is the field staff, so the Rockhound staff of Webster Garrison, pitching coach Jim Kaufman, hitting instructor Brian McCarn, and my great friend, athletic trainer Brian Doc Thorson, will be the field staff for the West. We have two outstanding gentlemen who are serving tonight as honorary managers. Their history, and we documented it, I thought, terrifically last night at our West Texas Sports Banquet memorabilia auction, part of our All-Star Weekend. And Joe Macko, 306 minor league home runs. Are you kidding me? And the great Bobby Bragan are the two honorary managers for this, the 2004 Permian Basin Area-Wide Phone Book Texas League All-Star Game. So the honorary managers are absolutely top-notch. Mr. Bragan was spectacular last night, by the way, at our banquet. He recited without one note card, Casey at the bat, set it up beautifully, and executed it flawlessly last night. Bobby Bragan, and he is one of the two honorary managers along with Joe Macko. We will introduce you to the remainder of the Texas League All-Stars. I will tell you that the pitching matchup will feature a Rockhound, young man who is a native of the Hawaiian Islands, Shane Comine, against the league's #1 pitcher, left-hander Jeff Francis, a BC native out of beautiful British Columbia. Left-hander from the Tulsa Drillers will go to the mound. Here we are preparing for the anthem, so we will step aside, tell you that our pregame is always brought to you by Budweiser and Bud Light. From First American Bank Ballpark, the stars will shine. The Texas League All-Star Game is coming up next. Beautiful. The anthem's going on, obviously, but our timing should be good. Just go ahead and include Farmers and come to me with a bumper, and we'll be great. All right. Oh, beautiful. I don't want to scare you, Chris, but it's perfect timing. What a way to start the week. It's All-Star Monday here at First American Bank Ballpark, and our broadcast is brought your way by our Farmers All-Star team. You just heard from our Farmers Insurance folks. And here in the Permian Basin, they include John McCollum at 1428 North Lee and Eric Easley at 1717 East 8. For John McCollum, Eric Easley, and our Farmers Insurance team, we welcome you. Well, the only player who's maybe getting a little grumpy tonight looks like Mother Nature. We had a beautiful afternoon, warm, of course, here in West Texas. But we are playing under a pretty good cloud bank, especially off to our left. But we shall see. The home run hitting contest has already been executed, and the fans are having a great time. So we'll just play some baseball and let Mother Nature do whatever she has in mind. Before we go to the lineup cards from Farmers, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification from First American Bank Ballpark. You're listening to the 2004 Texas League All-Star Game. As we return, I think we ID'd right there. Perhaps not. Well, it's okay. Hey, it's kind of like Christmas. It's the thought that counts. Wow, we have a helicopter landing in center field, and I think Rocky Rockhound is on board at that helicopter to deliver the first pitch of the game. Boy, we're going all out tonight. That's a first. Certainly a first for Midland, Texas, is a helicopter landing in center field. And the good news is the game is not yet being played. That's a good time to have a helicopter land in center field. Let's go to the Farmers Insurance lineup cards for this All-Star contest. First for the visiting Eastern Division, leading it off at shortstop from the Arkansas Travelers and the Anaheim Angels organization is Alberto Callaspo. Callaspo is the shortstop, and he will lead it off. Batting second, playing second from the Wichita Wranglers and the Kansas City Royals organization is Ruben Gotay. Ruben Gotay, bats second, plays second. Batting third from the Tulsa Drillers and the Colorado Rockies, the designated hitter is Sean Garrett. Sean Garrett is the DH. He'll bat number 3. Batting in the cleanup spot, again from the Arkansas Travelers and the Anaheim Angels organization, is Dallas McPherson. Boy, some numbers on this guy coming up that will flat scare you. And if you're a pitcher, they may make you run for cover. Dallas McPherson, third base, back cleanup. Batting fifth, also from the Arkansas Travelers, the Angels AA affiliate, catcher Jeff Mathis. Mathis catches, and Jeff will bat fifth. Batting sixth, Will Smith. He's from the Frisco Rough Riders and the Texas Rangers organization. Will Smith, bats sixth, plays left field. Batting seventh from the Arkansas Travelers and the Anaheim Angels, Nick Gourneau. Gourneau is in center. He will bat number 7. Batting eighth from the Tulsa Drillers, the Colorado Rockies AA affiliate, is right fielder Jaime Jones. Jaime Jones bats eighth and plays right field. And batting ninth and playing first base also from the Travelers is Rudy Gomez. Rudy Gomez, first base, and he will bat in the number 9 spot. The Farmers Insurance lineup card for the home team tonight, the Western Division All-Stars, leads off with San Antonio's Dustin DeLucchi. Dustin DeLucchi representing the Missions and their Major League affiliate, the Seattle Mariners, from the 2-time defending champion, Dustin DeLucchi, in center field. Batting second, what a weekend he's had. Tell you more coming up. Tommy Whiteman, representing the Round Rock Express and the Houston Astros. Tommy Whiteman, that second, plays short. Batting third from the El Paso Diablos and the Arizona Diamondbacks, Josh Kroger. Terrific power-hitting left-handed hitter in right field, Josh Kroger, batting third. Batting cleanup from the Round Rock Express, the Astros AA affiliate, is Todd Self. Spectacular season to this point in time. Todd Self, first base, that's cleanup. Batting fifth and doing the catching from the Rockhounds, the AA affiliate of the Oakland A's, is John Baker. John Baker will catch and Baker will bat fifth. Batting sixth, also representing the Rockhounds and the Oakland A's, John Weber, former Texas Tech Red Raider. He is in left field. Weber batting sixth. Batting seventh from the Round Rock Express and the Houston Astros, Brooks Conrad. He's the second baseman. Brooks Conrad, second base from the Round Rock Express. Batting in the 8th spot is Marlon Williams, who represents El Paso and the Diamondbacks. Marlon Williams will be the DH, speedy outfielder too. Marlon Williams is the designated hitter for this ballgame. And batting ninth and also representing the Rockhounds is Francis Gomez. So it's interesting because two guys, both named Gomez, are basically they were additions to the rosters, and they will each bat number 9. So Francis Gomez bats ninth. He'll play third base for the Western Division All-Star team. The starting pitchers tonight for the East, representing Tulsa and the Colorado Rockies, and what a half this guy had. Jeff Francis, 10-1. Jeff's home is Sammamish, Washington, but he was born in basically raised in and went to school in British Columbia, Canada. Jeff Francis, 6'5", 200-pound left-hander, going to the mound for the East. For the West, and I know they talked about who would start a great deal. I think Jeff Francis was such an obvious call for the East because he was the top pitcher in the league all season. Well, the West, they actually talked about it for a while and decided, well, this game is First American Bank Ballpark hosted, so let's have a Rockhound start the game. Shane Komine out of the University of Nebraska. His home is the Hawaiian Islands, and Shane will go to the mound. Shane Komine, 5'9", 175, against left-hander, 6'5", 200-pound Jeff Francis. There are some guys that we want to salute. We won't, obviously, they will not be here to play the game for various reasons, but they were named to the All-Star team and are unable to play. Now, that is, simply put, a fact of life. Minor League Baseball clearly is about advancement, and for a couple of these guys, the advancement is seen and go all the way to the major leagues. So I just want to tip my cap from the broadcast booth to these fellas as the home team now, the Western Division, going to take the field. From the East, Jason Box of Frisco, and I am not sure if Jason was called up or if he was one injured. He's the only one I didn't have the information on, but Jason Box, one of the top home run hitters in this league. D. Brown, who played for Wichita all season until about a week ago, and I really respect D because he has had parts of 6 straight years in the major league. Basically was assigned to Wichita. They told him he'd play every day if he went to the Wranglers, the Double-A affiliate of the Royals. He did it, and just basically was a tremendous presence. And D. Brown all the way back to the big leagues, and we wish him great success in Kansas City. Arkansas lefty Eric Steer has been called up to Triple-A. Frisco left-hander Sam Narin having a great year. He's 3-0 with Oklahoma City in the Rangers organization. Tulsa first baseman Ryan Sheely. Now, we know Ryan's injured because he was injured running the bases in a game against the Rockhounds in a series just concluded. And Ryan, if you're listening, so sorry that you aren't able to be here tonight, and we saw the injury and hope that you will be ready to go when the second half opens on Wednesday. So very, very best wishes to Ryan Sheely. Hope that's a quick recovery, Ryan. And from Arkansas, lefty Jake Woods also called up to AAA Salt Lake City. In the Western Division, Lance Cormier of El Paso got a call to AAA. Then he got another call, and he's up with the Diamondbacks. He's made one appearance at the big league level for the D-backs. San Antonio's Greg Dobbs also called up to Seattle's AAA in Tacoma, Washington. A couple of Rockhounds, Chris Mabius and Mark Tian, are both playing with the Sacramento River Cats now. And just wish them just great success. Two of our favorite kids, Chris Mabius and terrific third baseman Mark Tian. And from Round Rock, and he has been injured much of the year, and they still won the first half title. This guy, and disappointed that he can't be here because he is so exciting. Just perhaps the most explosive player in the league is Willie Taveras, and he is coming back. The Express have him back, but he has been injured and has missed a lot of time. So clearly, I think that discretion is the better part of valor there. You want to make sure that Willie's going to get it going for the second half. He's been the league's leading hitter and leading base stealer, and you want him healthy. So those gentlemen were elected to play in this game for various reasons. They cannot, but these guys sure can, and we are ready to play some baseball. Across the Texas League and across the Permian Basin, thanks so much for dialing our way for a very special Monday here at First American Bank Ballpark. Alberto Callaspo leads it off. That's up in the middle infield for the Eastern Division. I think in particular, you're not going to get many baseballs by these guys. Ruben Gotay at second, and this could have hit short. Alberto Callaspo, 284 hitter, couple of home runs, 25 driven in, and here's the first pitch of this All-Star game, and it's lifted in the air to straightaway center. Not deep, coming on DeLucchi, and Dustin's got it. One pitch, one swing, one out, and yes, it's an All-Star game. You'll see a lot of aggressive, I guess, plate appearances. One down, and here's Ruben Gotay. Guy can flat play second base. Young man hitting .294. He's got some pop, 6 homers, 36 driven in for the Wichita Wranglers, Double-A affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Gotay swings to the first pitch from Komine and loops it foul. 8 pitchers on each ball club, and clearly we will likely see each of them tonight. A fairly short bench, couple of position players, and in fact, one very late change even today. Pitch low and away, 1-1 to Gotay. Freddie Bynum of the Rockhounds called up to AAA. They had an injury for the River Cats, and we'd hoped Freddie could play here first, but they need him, and they need him now, so Freddie is in Sacramento. Swinging a fly ball into the left field corner. And that is going to drift out of play. For those who know this ballpark, the wind right now is a little scary because it's blowing in from left field. And that's a wind we don't see very often here. And that's basically pushing a pretty good cloud bank in our direction. But we'll see, and we'll just be glad to play ball as long as we can tonight. Here's Comine's 1-2 pitch to Gotay. Swings and rips it foul into the seat. Woo. That's a souvenir deluxe. 1-2 to Ruben Gotay. Ruben out of Fajardo in Puerto Rico. Genuine prospect. I visited with Frank White, the terrific manager and longtime Kansas City Royal. Last night on a banquet, 1-2 pitch, foul to the screen. I said, you've really got to like your middle infield. Frank, of course, a tremendous, a gold glove middle infielder himself with the Royals. And we've got a young shortstop that they have not had all season, but Gotay's been there all year. Wichita's middle infield awfully good. Here's the 1-2, and a line shot at right to first base, and Todd Self gloves it. 2 up, 2 down. Boy, Gotay ripped it to the right at Round Rock first baseman Todd Self. And here's Sean Garrett, designated hitter. Plays for the Tulsa Drillers. For those of you in Tulsa, and by the way, one of my favorite stops. So many longtime friends in Tulsa. So many years, of course, the Texas Rangers AA affiliate. Here's the pitch to Garrett. Here's a called strike. Sean is a switch hitter. .335, one of the league's top 3 hitters virtually all year. 7 homers, 34 driven in. It's been a heck of a week for the Tulsa Drillers, too. Larry Walker, Preston Wilson in the lineup. Here's a shot foul just wide of first 0-2. Rockhounds, in fact, had the pleasure of watching Preston Wilson and Larry Walker. We were the second half of that 8-game homestand were the Rockhounds for the Drillers. Huge crowd there last Wednesday, 11,000 plus. Great night at that yard. 0-2, just outside and low from Shane Comine. Top of the first, no score, east and west. Interestingly, the teams are all wearing their own uniforms, their own jerseys. Delivery to Garrett, swing and a miss and a nasty breaking pitch. Little Village car wash K-Rap there, and Shane Comine gets a 1-2-3 first inning. At least one hard hit ball, and he comes back with a terrific strikeout of a tough hitter in Sean Garrett. Half inning in the books at First American Bank Ballpark, and our Supercut score of the game, first time round, is the East 0, and against the Texas League's top pitcher, left-hander Jeff Francis, the West is coming to bat. I'm sorry, say again? 31, huh? Gee, I thought we might have a little more than that, but that's cool. Hey, everyone. Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, man, this is unbelievable. There is a dust storm heading this way. Unbelievable. The wind never blows this way. There is a bank of dust heading right at us. The wind never blows this way here. Shoot, I gotta work with a closed window. Oh, unreal. Alrighty. Well, wouldn't you just know? This is West Texas, folks, and if you don't know West Texas very well, for those of you listening in across the Texas League, this part of the country, the wind blows pretty good, and the wind usually here blows right to left. Right now, the wind is blowing in slightly left to right, and is bringing a big old cloud of dust our way. So Mother Nature wasn't listening when our co-owner, Miles Prentice, co-owner of the Rockhounds, asked for good weather this evening. And it's really been just a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. In fact, during the home run hitting contest, very little wind, but it has really come up. Well, we shall see. Here's Dustin DeLucchi to lead it off against Jeff Francis, and tall left-hander delivers high and in. Jeff Francis, 10-1, ERA of 2.03. Here's the 1-0, and this is high and in ball two. And his only loss was ironic because it came on a night which Tulsa, on which Tulsa was trying to clinch the pennant at 2-0. Swing and a miss. Good breaking pitch. 2-1. Dustin DeLucchi at the plate to face Jeff Francis, a lefty-lefty matchup here. DeLucchi out of Burlingame, California, facing the British Columbian Jeff Francis. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball fouled away 2-2. How good has Jeff Francis been? He's pitched 93 innings, allowed 61 hits, 18 walks, and 114 strikeouts. Amazing numbers. Pitch swung on, lifted in the air to left field. Wind will knock this down big time. In is Will Smith, and the Rough Rider makes the play for the out. Boy, to get it out of here to left field, you may have to call a cab tonight. It is really blowing inward. The batter will be Tommy Whiteman. Tommy played last night, although the Texas League was off, the Pacific Coast League was not, and he played for the Oklahoma City Club in his hometown of Oklahoma City. What a great thrill that had to have been for Tommy Whiteman. Fouls it off, does the Round Rock shortstop. 0-1. Tommy, terrific middle infield prospect for the Houston Astros. The 0-1 pitch, and he fouls that away. 0-2. Josh Kroger of the El Paso Diablos waits on deck. No score in the bottom of the first inning. Tommy Whiteman, tall right-handed hitter, 336 average. He was swinging a foul back, jammed on a breaking pitch, and he fouled it away. Tommy hitting the ball well and showing some pop. He has 8 home runs in the first half, a 336 average. And that now ranks third in the league, right behind his teammate Todd Self. Hits low and into the shoe top. Breaking pitch from Jeff Francis. Mentioned Jeff Francis' lone loss, just ironic, with Preston Wilson and Larry Walker in the lineup. A good ball game. The pitcher called strike 3 at the knees. Tough called strike 3, and Tommy Whiteman is out. And the night's second star-studded Village Car Wash case. 2 up, 2 down for Josh Kroger. That ball game that Jeff pitched was a 1-1 tie between Tulsa and the Rockhounds going into the 7th inning. Steve Jackson hit a 2-run homer to break the tie, and Jeff suffered his first and only loss of the first half. Swinging at the first pitch, Josh Kroger fouls it away. Left-handed hitting right fielder. Again, talk about the top hitters in the league. All of the top 10, while some have now been promoted, each of the top 10 hitters in the league is here. Josh Kroger is 6th in the league. Checks his swing, takes just low and away, 1-1. Of course, the Drillers came right back the next night and wrapped up Texas League East. It took to the next to last ball game of the half. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss at a backup breaking pitch, 1-2. So I would doubt that the Rockhounds have yet seen Jeff Francis' complete A game by any stretch. He pitched well, even in his only defeat of the half. 10-1. Here's the 1-2. Strike 3, called at the knees, breaking pitch away, and Kroger is rung up. And man, that is spotting your pitches about as well as you can. 3 up, 3 down for each ball club. So after 1 in the 2004 Texas League All-Star game, Supercuts. Score of the game is the East 0 to West 0. Pitcher? No, nobody coming to the mound. That's interesting. Good Shane. There you go. All right, very good. We go to the top of the second inning. Shane Comine is still on the mound. He will face the middle third of the Eastern Division order. It took Shane a while to get out there, and for a minute it looked as if we would have no pitcher. What he had to do is we used to do in the backyard. If you didn't have anybody else, didn't have a team, and it was just you toss the ball up in the air, see how far you could hit it. Of course, you had to go chase it as well. But fortunately, Shane has now taken the mound. And he will face Dallas McPherson, Jeff Mathis, and Will Smith, a couple of Arkansas Travelers, and a Frisco Rough Rider. No score here in the top of the second inning. Well, this is a guy who has absolutely been on fire. When he came up to Arkansas a year ago, Dallas McPherson terrorized the Texas League. He has been solid all year. But of late, he has terrorized even beyond what he did last year. Dallas comes in hitting .321, 20 first-half home runs. Takes up and in from Comine for ball one. 69 runs batted in. I mean, that is a half. And again, I don't think you say he started slowly. The pitch just high, ball two. But clearly, and really it took until after Casey Kochman, the marvelous first base prospect, he went up. He's now in AAA Salt Lake. And boy, Dallas just took over. Takes a strike at the knees from Shane Comine. Fans, by the way, if you listened in Little Rock, you would have loved what Dallas said on an on-field or in an on-field interview to start the game. There's a line shot right side base hit, and the game's first base hit, no surprise, comes from the guy who, let's see, hold off on that for just a moment, but I will tell you this. Dallas said in an on-field interview pre-game, Harold Fuller of our staff asked what the Arkansas Travelers can expect in the second half of the season. Dallas did not bat an eye, nor did he use any extra syllables. He said a championship. That was it. First pitch swing, Jeff Mathis of the Travelers pops the ball high in the air towards third. Gomez watching. Anybody going to give way to Todd Self, and the first baseman makes the play. That was interesting. That was Gomez who appeared to have it all the way, but Mathis with a first pitch swing, and Jeff pops out to the first baseman. One down with a man at first, and here's Will Smith. Dallas is a product of the Citadel, so it comes from a very structured background. And boy, when Harold asked him what the Travelers can expect in the second half, he was pretty matter-of-fact about it, a championship. Here's Will Smith, left-hand hitter. He rips one toward right field, but it will hang up and will be caught by Kroger. Boy, that ball was drilled. Will Smith of the Frisco Rough Riders line shot to right field, but it's gloved by Josh Kroger. The outfield for the West is John Weber of the Rockhounds, Dustin DeLucchi of San Antonio, and Josh Kroger of the Diablos left to right. Rockhounds third baseman Francis Gomez, tremendous glove man, by the way. Up the middle, Round Rock Express, middle infield, Tommy Whiteman and Brooks Conrad, and Express first baseman Todd Self. Shane Comine, breaking pitch to Nick Gourneau, also of the Arkansas Travelers, takes low and away for a ball. The battery right now is all Rockhounds. That's John Baker. And with a one-ball, no-strike stretch and pitch, Shane Comine. Inside off the corner. 2 balls, no strikes. The batter, Nick Gourneau, at even 300 for the first half. Springfield, Mass. is his home. Right-handed hitter waits, pitch on the way, and that is drilled to left field. If the wind does not knock it down, we've got a score on the board. High, deep, up, and way gone. Sidewalk souvenir, Nick Gourneau. Oh, my goodness, did he belt that. The wind, not quite as strong as it was moments ago, but it is still blowing inward. Make no mistake, that ball was just hammered. So Nick Gourneau drives in his teammate Dallas McPherson, and the East on the board, and emphatically so, with a bomb out of here by Nick Gourneau. If this game counted, that would be his 10th of the year. And here's Jaime Jones. Tulsa Drillers right fielder. Got a tall grass berm that sits behind the left field wall here at First American Bank Ballpark, and that is where that ball was bound for. That thing was really smacked and into the wind at that. Here's Jones, and he takes a strike at the knees on the outside corner. The wind has settled in a little bit, but make no mistake, Gourneau hit that ball into the breeze. The 1-0 is a changeup swung on a miss. Actually 0-2, I believe, should be the count. It is 0-2, not 1-1. 1-1 on the board. No balls, 2 strikes. With nobody on, but with nobody on comes compliments of a Nick Gourneau home run. The East has the early lead. Jaime Jones waits. Here's a pitch from Shane Comine. Good breaking pitch. Just missed inside here. What the partisans think of that, 1-2. Pretty good 0-2 breaking pitch right there from Comine. The Rockhounds right-hander delivers, and the 1-2 sails high. Shane from the Hawaiian Islands. A pretty quick ascent in the Oakland organization. He started last year in the Midwest League. Just tore it up, wound up at Double-A with the Rockhounds the second half of the year. Here's the 2-2 pitch by Comine. Check swing to the pitch drop, low, ball 3. Comine will go the first 2 innings in this ball game, and I think former Rockhound Tim McClaskey is warming behind him. Maybe DJ Holt, might be DJ. Pitch, a changeup, swung on and missed, got him. Second Village Car Wash pay for Shane Comine, but the East busts out, and they do it on the wings of a long ball from Nick Gourneau. The Arkansas center fielder has the East on the board, and after 1.5, the Supercuts score the ball game. Reads the East 2 and the West nothing. I knew I'd do that. You can't say it one way 140 nights a year and then say it the other way every time, you know. Oh, gee, he put my foot right in it. Oh, boy. Oh, my. Oh, he's quick. Shucks. Oh, okay. Golly, I'll get out more quickly. Bottom of the second inning, and Todd Self standing in. I will be a little quicker getting out of our innings with quickly a 1-1 count. So Todd Self does face Jeff Francis here in the second inning. Francis' pitch low and in, 2-1, 2 balls and a strike. The batter is Todd Self. The pitcher is Jeff Francis, lefty against lefty, and 2 of the very best in the Texas League. The 2-1 to Self, swing and a miss with a pitch just to the dirt. 2-2. Todd Self hitting .342, 6 home runs, 48 driven in. Tremendous discipline to the plate as well. There's the 2-2 from Francis. He knocked him away 3-2. So you have the guy who's been the league's number 1 pitcher virtually all year against the guy who was the league's number 2 hitter right behind his teammate Willie Taveras. Good matchup. The 3-2 and a ball lined into right center field. That was out for a base hit. Hustling over. That ball is going to get down for 2. Self will get into second base. Excellent effort in right field by Jaime Jones, who got over and cut it off. It actually might have been Gorneau. The center fielder got there as well. One slid in front of the other to keep that ball from rolling all the way to the wall. If that ball gets past them, it rolls to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark at about 390 to the wall, and that would have been a leadoff triple for Todd Self. It is a double, and the West, trailing 2-0, gets a leadoff base hit here from Todd Self. And now John Baker, left-handed hitting catcher from the Rockhounds. John at 304. Takes a breaking pitch high for a ball. John Weber of the Rockhounds will follow the middle third of the Western Division order here in the bottom of the third inning. Bottom of the second inning. Yeah. Here's the 1-0 pitch by Francis. Swing and a miss. A little bit of a backup movement to that pitch. It was up, and Baker couldn't catch it. Nick Gorneau's 2-run homer in the top of this. We'll try it again. The second inning. As the East out on top, the Round Rock's Todd Self with a leadoff double. Francis looks at second. Kicks and comes to the plate. High fly ball left field. Not going to carry it all. In drifting in. Plenty of room. Will Smith toward the line to glove it. And Baker flies out to very shallow left field toward the line. Now here's John Weber. You heard, by the way, from our terrific Farmers Insurance team, and they are great friends of the Rockhounds and our hockey team as well. The Odessa Jackalopes, our Farmers Insurance team, includes Sandy Smith at Odessa at 1613D East 8, and Bob Moore in Midland at 1111 West Illinois. Whoa, and the rain has just arrived. Mother Nature, come on now. Boy, I mean, it just started to dump. The pitch, high and away to Weber for ball 1. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it doesn't rain in West Texas. Oh, my. Remember that cloud bank I told you about? It's heading our way. Pitch to Webb, a swing and a miss. Well, we shall see. One good thing about this ballpark, there's a large concourse pretty much covered, a good portion of it from which you can watch the ball game, but right now the rain falling and falling fairly heavily very quickly. Weber, ground ball left side, got a chance, got through, base hit. Self will come as far as third. John Weber with a base hit. So 2-1 with one man down, and from the Round Rock Express, here's Brooks Conrad. Brooks, a switch hitter, so they're back from the right side against Jeff Francis. Well, wouldn't you just know it? You prepare, you field, by the way, looks great. Hounds crew, national award-winning Hounds crew, did a great job, and we get a few moments into the ball game and rain bust loose. Here's Conrad with a swing and a foul back. 0-1. Well, we will see. We'll see if Ma Nature makes this a passing quick shower or if she has more in mind. Isn't that just something? To paraphrase the immortal Humphrey Bogart, and all the games and all the innings of all the dates on the schedule, you pick this one. Here's a swing and a chopper out towards short. Split to second for 1. Maybe 2. Inning-ending double play. Brooks Conrad bounces into the 6-4-3 double play. So a double and a single go by the board. And the 2-run home run remains the difference at this point in the ballgame. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. Well, we played a couple. We'll see how much more we can play. Supercuts score the game through 2. The Eastern All-Stars 2, and the West, nothing. Oh man, yeah, it's just dumped. Not everybody left, so I mean, or headed for the concourse. So I think it's easing off a little bit now. So That's just perfect, huh? Wait 8 years to host the All-Star game. And it rains. Alrighty. Well, our game totals on Rockhounds Radio brought your way by our friends at Pro Communications. Pro Communications teams up with the undisputed leader in wireless, Motorola. That's a good team right there. Pro Communications and Motorola, and here are your Pro Communications fast stats through 2. Each team has 2 base hits. Neither team has committed an error. So one of the East base hit was a big one. The big fly, as they say, is Nick Gourneau's 2-run home run driving in his teammate Dallas McPherson. And then a nice little 6-4-3 double play got Jeff Francis out of his second inning jam. The West matched the East with 2 base hits in the second, but Gourneau's home run the difference. 2-0 is the score. 2 runs, 2 hits for the East. No runs, 2 hits for the West. The East has not left a man on base, and the West has left 1. 2 innings of work for Shane Comine. That'll be the same for Jeff Francis, as there is activity in the Eastern bullpen. And it is Round Rock's DJ Holton who comes on to pitch. Boy, really a solid guy on that pennant-winning Round Rock staff. DJ out of Yorba Linda, California. Big right-hander. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. And DJ Holton comes on to pitch. 2-0 is the score with the Eastern Division leading this ball game. Of course, pitching has been almost since the get-go in Round Rock. That has been the hallmark of that great Express success. Here's Rudy Gomez. First pitch swing, fly ball, dead center field. And that is really hit. Back is DeLucchi, still back. He reaches up, can't make the play. The ball bounces one time, base of the wall. This is going to be 3. Now the ball is bobbled, and they will... I thought for a minute Tom Reynolds, the Tulsa manager, was going to try to wave Gomez around, but that will be a triple all the way, I think, if he never stopped. Ball was bobbled briefly, but I think DeLucchi had no chance to get him, so that is a leadoff triple to center field by Rudy Gomez against DJ Holton. The rain is still falling. It is not quite as strong as it was. Now, I got to tell you, because the wind's blowing in, I'm sissified. I had to close the window, and that's not because of the rain, that's the wind. Here is Alberto Callaspo, the shortstop from the Arkansas Travelers, whose teammate, Rudy Gomez, and again, a late addition to the team, and all Rudy does is come up with a triple. 1-0 pitch is Luke foul out of play. So Alberto Callaspo facing DJ Holton. DJ spent a little more than half of the year last season in Round Rock. It was very solid. Pitch fouled away. It's 1-2. He was 5-4 a year ago, and very much out of character. Round Rock really struggled a year ago, yet DJ had a 3.5 ERA and a winning record. And this year, certainly, the foundation of that pennant-winning staff. The right-hander delivers. There's a foul straight back. 1-2 to Callaspo. Well, clearly we'll be watching the radar. I'm sure Monty Hoppel, our general manager, is watching the Doppler even as we speak. The wind has picked up a little bit again, and that is blowing that system right at us. Callaspo takes it low and away, 2-2. I am not a meteorologist, but I am from Seattle, and it is not only raining, it smells like rain. Runner at third with nobody out. Pitch is swung in line to left field, a base hit, and that'll drive in a run. Well, the East takes a bit of command in this ballgame, and again, certainly you don't know how long Mother Nature will allow the game to continue, and you take no chances, of course, in terms of a wet field or what have you. You want to entertain the fans? As much ball as you can, but if Mother Nature intervenes, well, nothing you can do about that. Back-to-back base hits, the lead East now, leading 3-0. Here's Ruben Gotide. He kicks inside for ball 1. For this young shortstop of the Wichita Wranglers, Pretty exciting ball player. Ruben is 21. Runner goes. Pitch is taken up, and here's a throw by Baker. Got a chance. Flat the tag. Nope. Slid around it. Nice stolen base from Cayasco. Alberto has not run a ton yet for Ty Boykin's Arkansas Travelers. By the way, talking about the Travelers, and they have really been front and center in this ball game. The East has 3 runs. The Travelers have been responsible for all 3. 2-0 to go time. We'll take a second after this pitch and say hi to 2 of my favorite people, and they think they might be listening in. Here's the 2-0. That's a called strike, generous pitch. Arkansas manager Ty Boykin and Travelers pitching coach Kernan Ronan, former Midland Angels both, and just 2 of the best people on the planet. 2-1 pitch, mile-high fly ball, right side foul ground. Todd Self, the wind is pushing it out of room, 3 rows deep, first base seat. Well, for Todd, he could watch that ball all the way, but nothing he could do as it flowed into the seats. Runner in scoring position with nobody out, 1 run in, the East leading it 3-0. Ty Boykin was a player and a player coach here. Kernan Ronan was our pitching coach for much of the 5 or 6 seasons in the 90s. 2 guys are considered great friends. Kernan, Ty, good luck to you guys in the second half. Here's a swing and a 11 ball to center field. DeLucci back, should have time and room. He does. Makes the catch, runner tag. Throw from DeLucci is not quite in time. And getting in ahead of the throw is Cayasco. So a runner at third on the fly ball. Well hit to deep center field. Runner at third, 1 down. And here is Tulsa Driller's designated hitter, Sean Garrett. Lester Garrison is managing the left, and he will roll the dice a little bit and bring the infield in. Infield is 75% Round Rock Express. First, second, and short with Francis Gomez and Hounds at third. Here's a swing and a miss with a good breaking ball down and in. Sean Garrett originally came up in the Padres organization. And I guessed last night, I shouldn't have told Sean that I was guessing when I introduced him to the banquet, but from Kinmundy, Illinois. With the Pirates organization at AA a year ago. Sean been playing professionally since '98. Ground ball, foul, wide of first base. Frank White, boy, can still field the baseball. Frank's coaching first right now, and he makes that play, 0-2. Frank White, must say, he is every bit as a gentleman and just a terrific person to visit with that kind of hoped he would be. Here's the pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Chasing one is Garrett. He's out on strike. So Sean, 2 strikeouts in this ball game, 2 down. On the third Village Car Wash K of the evening for the West. And now here is Dallas McPherson. Well, Dallas was the guy that I think probably would have been considered the odds-on favorite to win the home run hitting contest. I mentioned that earlier in our Toro trivia coming up. We'll give you the field and see if you can guess who did win it. Pitch is a good fastball strike at the knees. Nice pitch there by Holton. Dallas McPherson, what a pace he is on. Of course, you never know in AA ball if he will spend the rest of the season in Arkansas. Swings and lifts one foul out of place, quickly down in the count 0-2. Now, Dallas has made an impact, 20 home runs. His next RBI when the season commences again on Wednesday will be his 70th of this season. Here's the 0-2. Fouled straight back. To start the year and through much of the first half, the fans at Little Rock's Ray Winder Field and my good friend Phil Elson. Phil, if you're listening in, big hello to you. One of my great colleagues in the league, the radio voice of the Travelers. Well, what a corner combination. 0-2, and boy, Dallas took a big hack there at a very high fastball, but he got a piece of it. I'm not sure you could find a better corner pair than Casey Kochman and this guy, Dallas McPherson. Perhaps you could come up with their equal, but I don't know if you can find a better one. Here's the 0-2, breaking pitch down and in. 1-2. Runner at third, 2 men out. The East 3, the West nothing. In the top of the third, First American Bank Ballpark. 6,500 plus a grumpy Mother Nature. Here's the 1-2. That ball well hit to right field. That will sink toward the corner, and that will get the base of the wall. Making the play off the wall is Kroger. He'll limit Dallas McPherson to a single. It's a single off the right field wall that drives in a run 4-0. The East leads it. And that swing said that Dallas, it's really unfair to say got off to a slow start, but we didn't see quite the dominating and just flat fear-inducing swings that we saw from him a year ago. That was one of them. He just tomahawked that thing to the base of the wall and right. His teammate Jeff Mathis, fine young catcher, takes low. Mathis has 9 homers. He's driven in 37. 4-0 the East, all produced by the Arkansas Travelers. It's fouled away 1-1. That is something. McPherson has scored 1, driven 1 in. Gorneau of Arkansas, 2-run homer. Rudy Gomez of Arkansas tripled and scored. Alberto Cayasco of Arkansas singled, driving in a run and scored. It's a called strike 2, 1-2. And Dallas McPherson drove him in. So it's Arkansas 4 and the Texas League nothing in the top of the 3rd inning. Mathis waits. There's a 1-2 pitch. Low and outside with a slider. 2-2 from DJ Holton. Conditions less than ideal. I would be fibbing if I didn't tell you that. The wind is now left to right, foul pole to foul pole, and it is really whipping. 2-2 stays high. Weather, I think we all know, goes in cycles, but it's been really odd. The wind, even for West Texas, has been, at least in baseball terms, very severe. Last couple of seasons in particular. Here's a 3-2. Runner goes, pitch is popped in the air. Now the wind may push this out of play. Todd Self chasing, trying to make the play, gives way to, oh my gosh, to Conrad, who goes banging into the railing. Is he all right? Boy, Brooks looks like he's okay, but I bet athletic trainer Brian Doc Thorson of the Rockdowns is going to come out and visit with him. Boy, Brooks, Conrad. Now that is scary for Rockdowns fans because Brant Colamarino, a newcomer to our ball club who is just a tremendous first base prospect, did the very same thing. And he missed 5 ball games barreling into that first base railing. Wind picking up, rain perhaps increasing a little bit. Runner goes in the 3-2, fouled straight back again. I don't know how much ball we will play tonight. Of course, a good portion of what goes on here is what goes on around the All-Star game. And isn't it ironic, the weather was about as good for golf as it gets here. Here's a 3-2, and that's low ball 4. So Jeff Mathis of the Travelers draws the walk from DJ Holton of Round Rock. Tough inning for DJ. He's given up 2 runs on 3 hits. 2 men on now for Will Smith of the Frisco Rough Riders. One of 2 Smiths, both from Frisco in this ball game. The other is backup catcher Jeff Smith. Will is from Tucson, Arizona, 27-year-old. First pitch swing, line drive, well struck to left, so the wind will knock the stuffing out of that. Weber has to come on a couple of steps, but he does to make the catch, and the inning is over. Well, my goodness gracious. I guess the Arkansas 12, it really is all Arkansas, but they have added 2 more, have the East, and thanks to the Arkansas Travelers, after 2.5, Supercut score this game is the East 4 and the West nothing.
Is 6.5 years old, comes to us from Lake State, Texas.
Oh, wow.
So let's have a big hand for Clifford Sloan. All right. Maybe the public taco out there. The second base. Clifford already started heading towards second. Henderson in home for San Antonio. This is the reason this race as well. We know Rocky doesn't have a very good record in it. Clifford's almost a second up there with his cousin Cody. Round in second. Looks like Henry may win. No, Rocky takes him down. A couple of mascots holding Henry down. Clifford makes it the 3rd. Clifford to the orange bench. Clifford. 3-5. 3-1.
very good. From First American Bank Ballpark, boy, it is an almost surrealistic scene we greet you right now for our Toro inning. The outfield is basking in brilliant, bright sunlight, but beyond it and behind it we have a rainbow. That's a great omen and a beautiful, boy, I tell you, if there really is a pot of gold at the base of a rainbow, there's somebody in the Permian Basin about to change income tax brackets. Man, that pup's right there. Right there. That rainbow's gorgeous. Evelyn Hayward of the Midland Reporter-Telegraph. Somebody jump in the car. Go get it, man. That pot of gold's got to be a mile away. And here we are in a ball game. Behind that, by the way, is a veil of charcoal gray clouds. So whatever you like in weather, you've got it going right now. Let me give you the 6 contestants in the turf tonight, our trivia being the home run hitting contest, and you tell me who won it. We go to the bottom half of the third. On the pitch is left-hander Tim Bittner of the Arkansas Travelers. And he fires a strike to Marlon Williams of the El Paso Diablos. The DH swings and hits the fly ball. Boy, he hit that hard. The wind is pushed to that ball deep in the corner of right field. That'll drop for a base hit. Marlon Williams turning second. He's going to come for third base. And, boy, Webby's going to wave him home. He's waving him home. He's not throwing to the plate. Is that in time? Inside the park. Sidewalk souvenir inside the park. As they say in Hollywood, that's entertainment. Marlon Williams and Mother Nature, who has been so grumpy tonight, just helped write the script. Marlon Williams with a high fly ball to right center field. It was pursued by Nick Gourneau as best he could, but Gourneau simply couldn't outrun the wind. That ball was pushed into the deepest part of the ballpark and about 390 away from home plate. And Webby Garrison, who is the West manager, waving his arm all the way, and Marlon Williams with that great speed comes to the plate with an inside the park home run. Hounds third baseman Francis Gomez takes a strike. Oh my goodness, they're talking about great entertainment right there. Here's a swing, and that ball well hits the deep right field. Wind will push that. That ball is off the wall. That'll be a stand-up double for Francis Gomez, the Rockhounds third baseman with an extra base hit. Boy, well, Tim Bittner, welcome to West Texas. We said the wind is blowing left to right, and it is strong. Now, it's subtly changing direction a little bit. The ball that Williams hit, I don't know that Gourneau might not have caught that. He certainly would have come closer to it had the wind not taken it. But that ball went to the wall. Williams comes all the way around to the inside the Parker, and then Gomez, a line drive double off the left field wall. Dustin DeLucchi steps in, takes inside ball one. Well, it's the East 4 and the Western Division 1. Pitch to DeLucchi, grounded to short. Cayasco gobbles it up. Easy toss to first base. And one man down, Rudy Gomez of the Travelers gloves it. And here's Tommy Whiteman of the Round Rock Express. Well, the 3 combatants from the East were Arkansas teammates Jeff Mathis and Dallas McPherson, and Tulsa's outfielder Sean Garrett. Here's a swing and a roller first base. Nice diving stop by Rudy Gomez. Pitcher to cover the bag. Bittner's there in time for the out. Nicely handled at first. Gomez advances to third. Tommy Whiteman has a possible RBI single taken away in a terrific play by Rudy Gomez at first. Made the diving stop, and Bittner out over to cover the bag nicely. So 2 down in the inning, and here's Josh Kroger. For the West, it was El Paso teammates. Here's a called strike to Josh Kroger. With Chris Snyder, Sergio Santos, and the Rockhounds' John Weber. So our Toro Turf home run hitting contest, who won it? Pitched off low to Kroger, 1-1. Jeff Mathis, Dallas McPherson, both from the East, both from Arkansas. Sean Garrett of the Tulsa Drillers from the East. Or was it one of the El Paso pair? Catcher Chris Snyder and shortstop Sergio Santos. Breaking ball to Kroger, miles high fly ball, right field, wind pushing it, still pushing toward the corner, got a chance, and it's gone! It's out of here. Wind-blown sidewalk souvenir, Josh Kroger. 3 home runs in this ball game, and they are as different in nature as you can get. Josh Kroger, a windblown home run into the bullpen. Marlon Williams, a ball that was windblown that got down for an inside the park home run. And earlier in this game, into the wind, a line shot by Nick Gorneau. It's a 5-3 ball game. 4-3, isn't it? Somebody help me. Here's a roller to third base. Off the bat of Todd Self. Booted by McPherson. Comes up gunning and still got it. Just barely in time. Todd Self grounds out to Dallas McPherson. What am I missing on the board? Folks, is it not 4-3? Forward at 5-3. That's scaring me. Did I miss one? I probably could. I've done it before. I may do it again. I'm going to stick with my score, and we'll give you the Toro trivia answer in our turf again is the home run hitting contest. Who was it? Jeff Mathis, Dallas McPherson, Sean Garrett, Chris Snyder, Sergio Santos, or John Weber? And we go to the top of the fourth. Supercup score of the game now reads the East 4 and the West 3. It is 4-3. Why? I wish they wouldn't do that. Well, yeah, but I look up and it says 5 on the scoreboard, and that's supposed to be official. And yikes! Whew. Yeah, that's great. I missed the last one. You picked it up, so yeah, I was just looking at the watch. Good call. All right. Well, a former Rockhound comes to the mound, and that's Tim McClaskey. And he is really a wonderful story. He's also really a good kid as Tim. And Tim McClaskey is the new pitcher. He is from the Round Rock Express and replaces Round Rock's B.J. Holton, who had a tough inning, 3 hits, couple of runs, both earned, 1 walk, 1 K for DJ. And Tim McClaskey is the new pitcher. On our Toro winning, I would have to think Dallas McPherson would have been the favorite in the home run hitting contest. He competed with Sean Garrett and his teammate Jeff Mathis for the East, who was Rockhound's John Weber, plus El Paso's Chris Snyder and Sergio Santos in the West. We go to the 4th inning, and here's Nick Gorneau, who homered against the wind his first time, to tie for a ball. Well, maybe suspense in this game. There was none in the home run hitting contest, although it was just terrific. Actually, there was a lot of drama. Pitch a call, strike. The East won it with Dallas McPherson dominated. So yeah, Dallas won the home run hitting contest, no question. Pitch breaks down and in 2-1. Just picked up where he left off. 8, I believe, was his total. So Dallas McPherson, indeed, home run hitting contest champ, no doubt about it. 2-1 pitch, foul straight back. 2-2 to Nick Gorneau, whose 2-run homer got the East on the board, and that's a lead they have yet to surrender. But the West coming back with a 3 spot in the 3rd inning. 4-3 is the score. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Toro. The 2-2, and that'll drop to the dirt. Chris, I want to make sure on this. Let's take 10 seconds and identify our station. I'm not sure if I heard it or not, and I don't want to bore one, so let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Texas League All-Star Game. On a 3-2 pitch, Nick Gorneau, a little inside-out swing and a one-hopper nicely handled on a short hop by Brooks Conrad. Flips to his teammate Todd Self. And it's 1 down in the 4th inning. Chris Marquez in studio producing and engineering at First American Bank Ballpark, where that rainbow is still just beyond the left field foul pole. I'm Bob Hard. Here's Jaime Jones, and he swings to the first pitch. High fly ball, left field, not going to carry. Weber coming on. The wind takes it. He dives. He can't make the play. That'll be a double for Jaime Jones. Well, Mother Nature is an equal opportunity employer. Couple of wind-blown baseballs that help the West, and now Jaime Jones gets one that drops in the West Texas wind on the left field line. That ball was basically a routine fly ball to left to the wind, and again, we've said it's subtly changing direction. The wind blowing inward, and even though he plays here, John Weber could not gauge it. Now Rudy Gomez, who tripled and scored his first time, Rudy takes a strike on the outside corner. Rudy Gomez out of Miami, Florida. One of those guys you tip your cap to. Played some independent ball with Schaumburg of the Northern League. Waiting for a chance to get back into affiliated baseball. Pitched down and away 1-1. Rudy's been playing since the Yankees drafted him in the 10th round. 1996 out of great program at the University of Miami, Florida. Here's the 1-1. McClatchy, good breaking pitch, called strike. Runner at second, one man down. We're at the top of the fourth, the East 4 and the West 3. Rain kind of in and out right now. The wind blowing inward, slightly left to right. Pitch from McClatchy to the dirt, good block by John Baker of the Rockhound catcher. We're talking about kids that you tip your cap to, and I would certainly put Tim McClatchy on that list. Tim has been pitching since 1996. He was a 36th round draft choice of Florida out of Muscatine College in Iowa. Here's the 2-2. Little number toward first base, and that will dribble just foul. Todd Self could not quite get to it in fair territory. Still 2-2. And Tim has certainly bounced around a little bit. Was with the Mariners for some time, the Marlins again, and then came to the A's organization. He pitched 13 games for the Rockhounds a couple of years ago and had an ERA of nearly 10. Pitched very well at single-A ball the rest of that year, and then found himself in independent ball with Ozark of the Central League before the Astros signed him. Pitch is fouled straight back on the 2-2. The batter is Rudy Gomez. The pitcher, Tim McClatchy of Round Rock. The base runner, Jaime Jones of the Tulsa Drillers. And Rudy Gomez, remember that Arkansas contingent, which has been front and center to say the least. All 4 runs scored by and driven in by Arkansas Travelers. 2-2 pitch by McClatchy, popped up. The wind will take it, and that'll blow about 4 or 5 rows deep, and more than that. Well, wind is a huge factor. Gray, somewhat broken clouds above us, and just as I say that, a bolt of lightning flashes in the distance. Thank you very kindly. 2-2. Again, 3 two-strike foul balls. Thunder rolls, and Gomez fouls one back. Rudy Gomez. The wind is such a factor. Again, there's just no way to work with an open window, so we're just sissified. It is just whipping. The 2-2. Fouled away again. Gomez really doing some battle here. 5 two-strike foul balls. So Gomez, to say the least, making McClatchy work. Tim comes set. 2-2. Delivery is punched to the right side of the infield. To his left is Brooks Conrad. He's got it. Throws to Todd Self for the out. Moving to third is Jaime Jones. So Gomez does some battle. Fouls away 5 two-strike pitches and eventually grounds out. 2 down for Tim McClatchy. Well, I don't know if Tim will reach the big leagues with the Houston Astros. That's certainly not for me to say, but you sure respect the way that he has hung in there and have himself another opportunity. Wish Tim well. There's a bolt of lightning and a fastball to the inside corner. Looks like a scene out of the natural. It's 0-1. Really solid last year for Round Rock after signing out of the Independent Central League. Pitches ground ball to first base. 2 hops. Self is right there. He'll get to the bag. No damage done. So the inning is over. No runs on a hit, no errors, and one left. And Tim McClaskey puts a goose egg on the board in the top of the fourth inning. After 3.5, Supercuts score the game is the East 4 and the West 3. You had that, buddy.
Yes, sir. I'm going to bring down the indications of what's in the box. And we've got Emily and Garrett down here, and a couple of Antler friends with Slapjack Jack Wolf and Dreams to Move. Now, these junior meetings come down as well, but by the time he gets there, we may be over. But anyway, Emily, you can choose first tonight. What box would you like? The FCX box, or the Kids 103.3 box, or the Wild 96.1 box for juniors coming over there? You choose now and choose wisely. You get whatever's inside. You must choose now. 103.3, like that. Give it a box. Let's see what she's won. Wow, look at that. That is CD. Got L. Blue Day, Falago. A ton of great prizes there. Garrett, it's your turn. We want that Wild 96.1 box. So do some of the left hold in the FCX box. For what has Garrett won? Midland Rockhound hat. That's not all. There's also a Midland Rockhound t-shirt in there as well. So we got two big winners tonight. Thanks for your communication. What's in the box?
All right, thanks. Well, a hat trick of lefties for the Eastern Division as Tulsa's Justin Hampson comes on to pitch. Tulsa's Jeff Francis went the first two. Tim Bittner had a tough inning. It was not all of his own doing by any means. The lefty from the Arkansas Travelers, 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned. But again, Mother Nature really played a hand in that. So here's lefty Justin Hampson. And he faces John Baker, first pitch swing, and he drives the ball into right center field. That is going to carry a little bit, not a lot. Drifting over and getting there is Jaime Jones. And Baker flies out. Looked like Hampson may have jammed Baker just a little bit on that pitch. Hit it well, but not well enough to do any damage to Big. I know this is a special ball game for John Baker. His dad's here watching him play in the All-Star game. Now John Weber, who singled his first time up, facing Justin Hampson is the Rockhounds outfielder. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Justin Hampson, who for some reason I didn't get his bio in here. Why is that? Pitch on the way, low and away, 1-1. Justin, I owe you one. How did I manage to miss that? There's a lot of changes in All-Star ball games. Oh, you know what I did? I know precisely what I did. Kept in the wrong pitcher. Here's the call, strike 1 and 2. I kept Junior Herndon of Wichita. He at one time was scheduled to pitch in this ball game and was injured, so I left his bio and forgot Justin Hampson. Justin out of Warden, Illinois. The 1-2. Oh, he got a dandy breaking pitch, a little slider to the outside corner. So Hampson, after getting John Baker to fly out to right, brings up John Weber on 4 pitches. He's caught looking. Strikeout number 3 for the car wash chain. Number 3 for the East staff. Eastern Division 4, the West 3. And here's Brooks Conrad now for the Round Rock Express. First pitch swing, high fly ball, and that will not carry at all. Jaime Jones is short of that short porch and right. He's got it. Justin Hampson says, what's the big deal? This game's easy. What wind? 3 up and 3 down. Go the West. So we play it forward. First American Bank Ballpark. And a Supercuts score of the game. The 2004 Texas League All-Star Game remains the East 4 and the West 3.
All proceeds from this event will go to provide vision services for those in need. The folks at Prevent Likeness would like to say thank you to the Midland Rockhounds and the wonderful people in the Permian Basin for your support.
Cool deal. As we go to the top half of the fifth inning, a reminder that our broadcast brought to you by our Farmers Insurance team in the Permian Basin, Sammy Gonzalez in Odessa at 610 North West County Road, and Chris Crow at 875 Central. With Sammy Gonzalez, Chris Crow, and our Farmers team, we played 4, and the East, led by, emphatically so, the Arkansas Travelers, lead the game 4-3. On to pitch from the El Paso Diablos is Matt Henry. And his first delivery is a called strike to Ruben Gotay. Ruben 0 for 2. The Wichita second baseman is lined to first and flown to center. Switch hitter takes down and in, ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Matt Henry, big tall right-hander. 6'3", 200 pounds. Love his hometown, Jupiter, Florida. Tapper past the pitcher, shortstop to his left behind the bag, gobbles that one up and throw to first. He is in time. Castro nicely handled that. And we'll bring up Sean Garrett. I said Cayasco. I beg your pardon, Tommy Whiten. So 1 down in the fifth. And here is Sean Garrett. Swings and loops one down the left field side. That'll slice and just drop foul. And Sean Garrett, who struck out twice, little slicer dicer there, and that one almost dropped. Sean, a couple of strikeouts so far in this ball game. Amazing how different a scorecard looks when you're not doing an all-star game. With the long shortstop making the play, that's always good. Sean Garrett an 0-1 count. Sean hitting .335. Leading Tulsa to the first half championship. Backdoor breaking pitch just stayed wide. Tim McClaskey, 1 inning. And for the Round Rock and former Rock Hounds right-hander, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, no Ks. The 1-1 by Henry, good fastball that just stayed wide. You hear with the crowd thought of that. It did not miss by much. Well, first half certainly for the El Paso Clubbers at 2-1, swinging a foul back. Speaking of El Paso, my good friend Matt Hicks, the longtime voice of the Diablos here, one of the representatives of El Paso Club. So good to see you folks from all across the league here tonight. Here's the stretch and the delivery by Henry. That ball hit high in the air to right field. That is pretty well struck, and that is going to get down for base hit. It'll bounce once, twice off the base of the wall. It comes. Retrieving in right field is Josh Kroger. Well, that is a stand-up double. Well, Sean Garrett had back-to-back strikeouts, and you had a feeling that wasn't going to continue for very long. So the base hit off the wall in right field for Sean Garrett. Base one's a little 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks. And here is Dallas McPherson. Just tremendous. We talked about how scary he was last year in just 28 ball games. Hit over 300. Only hit 5 home runs, but it just seemed that everything he hit, he just mashed. Dallas McPherson takes a called strike in the outside corner. It's 0-1. Dallas having a pretty good all-star game. He said in the on-field interview for the ball game, just have a good time, play the game. Well, he's doing both. Swinging a straight foul ball, straight back. And the count is 0-2. Dallas a single, a run scored in the second, an RBI single in the third. He is 4-3 in favor of the East, and Arkansas responsible for all 4 runs. Pitch by Matt Henry sails way high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And for the Diablos, you go all the way back to the opening series. They hosted Round Rock. They won the first couple of ball games, and boy, right there, Round Rock went on a tear that would carry them basically all the way through the half. Pitch just wide. Maybe an all-star game, but the home team still wanted a strike call there, and the Partisans thought that was a pretty good-looking pitch. 2-2. Dallas, big left-handed hitter against the right-hander Henry. The pitch high and in here. Ball 3, 3-2. really have to respect the job Matt Henry has done for the Diablos. He is 7-3. ERA is a little high, but Cohen Stadium is a definite hitter's park. 3-2, got him. Swing and a miss and a nice pitch away. Might have been a change. And McPherson is out on strike. That'll be Village Car Wash K number 4 for the Western Division, and that'll bring up Dallas McPherson retired. Here's his teammate, Jeff Mathis. Jeff has popped the first and walked in 2 trips. Runner at second there with a 1-out double is Sean Garrett. Mentioned the 4 runs for the East. Arkansas responsible for them all. Pitch is popped foul way high in the air, and the wind will push that way back. Wind is still inward. It's pretty much almost now again foul pole to foul pole, left to right. Boy, the wind has been a factor, even for West Texas, a factor this evening. A bit of sunlight sneaking through, though, and deep to center and out in right center field is a delivery. Breaking ball, low and away. Good stop by Rocktown catcher John Baker. Jeff Mathis, the Angels drafted this young man out of high school, and drafting a high school catcher is considered by a lot of folks to be a little bit of a roll of the dice. Mariana, Florida, his home. Ground ball, sharply hit foul, skips off the camera bay and into the seats. 1-2. Jeff was the 33rd man selected overall in 2001, and for him to be at still a very young age, to be holding his own and then some at Double-A. Guys, after the job held by a former Midland Angel, Benji Molina swings in the fly ball, got a loop in his shallow right center field. That's going to get pushed right to Kroger, and Josh has it, and the inning is over. So, as was the case in the 4th inning, the base hit does no damage, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We're midway through the 2004 Texas League All-Star Game, and our Supercut score of the game remains the East 4 and the West 3.
It is time for the Brisbane area All-Star Game of the church is taking our age. And we've got Zach right here and Michael in the black buffalo sports Rod Rock black bat. Turn it around and run the second, then the third. In the third, we got there for a hit. He's taking. All right, guys, on your mark, get set, go! Barry's ahead by the beach. And Michael's got his ticket not far behind. He's got the long towards the inside lane. There it was the two. Keep going. There it was. That's like clearance. Taking a race. So he's there for that versus ticket. That is congratulations.
We're at First American Bank Ballpark, and Chris, I didn't mean to make you worried there. Good friend just came up, Blake Reedy from the Frisco Rough Riders, and man, that was just a nice visit, and for reasons well beyond we have time for. Just really appreciate Blake coming up and staying by. That was good stuff. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, so midway through the ball game, and Ma Nature, at least for the moment, relenting. And Eric Thompson of the Frisco Rough Riders is on the pitch. Now, there is an Eric Thompson who, of course, pitched for the Rockhounds, and he, in fact, still is in the Texas League. That is Eric with a C from Ohio, and Eric is pitching for Wichita, although he's been on the shelf most of the year. This is Eric Thompson with a K, thank you very much, and he represents the Frisco Rough Riders. So the right-hander takes over in a 4-3 ball game. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and here's Marlon Williams to lead it off and takes a strong fastball high and in for ball 1. This Eric Thompson, drafted out of Pensacola, Florida, I almost said junior high. When he was young, but a solid 8th grader is a swing and a foul straight back. Oh, man. We, of course, had a very early wake-up call yesterday in Tulsa to get here for the day of preparation of the banquet yesterday, folks. So just, blame it on the jet lag. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Pop foul high in the air, out of play off to the right, 1-2. Francis Gomez in the top of the order, Dustin DeLucchi to follow here in the home half of the 5th inning. The East 4 and the West 3. In-studio producer-engineer is Chris Marquez. Bob Hards at First American Bank Ballpark and across the Texas League. Thanks so much for joining us on the internet. Pitch to Marlin, drops to the dirt, 2-2. And, of course, here in the Permian Basin on the East Rock 550 KCRS. Speaking of good folks, Robert Hallmark, good to see you at our West Texas Sports Banquet memorabilia auction. I know Bobby Bragan visited with Robert on the morning drive today. 2-2, a shot under the pitcher's glove, deflected to second base, backhanded by Gotay, throws at first for the out. Oh, a nice reaction by Gotay. That ball got under the pitcher's glove, kicked a little bit, and Gotay made a quick move up the middle and retires Williams. No margin for error on that play because Marlin flat runs like the wind. He has the inside the park home run, of course, as Marlon Williams. Now Francis Gomez. Gomi tripled and scored. First time up, takes inside. Francis Gomez kind of continuing a little bit, I guess, of a tradition with late additions of Midland players in all-star games having good success. Swings and fouls it away. Talked about Aaron Geil now up to the Kansas City Royals in the big leagues. Midland Angel, who was very much a last-minute addition in '96 and was the game's MVP. The last time the game was hosted here in the Permian Basin. Here's the 1-1 pitch by Thompson. Looped foul. That again will get out of play. A little help from Nature. 1-2 is the count. Francis Gomez, the guy that played last year for Webster Garrison and Kane County. And while certainly with the bat he cannot replace Mark Teehan, but I'm not sure many, if any, people can. The 1-2 just wide, 2-2. The boy with a glove, this guy is awfully good at any position in the infield. Gomez hitting .257, 4 homers, 23 driven in. Swings and pops this one up. Playable, first base side, good hustle, Wynn taking it, and he won at the end of the dugout. Jeff Matheson into the dugout, over the railing goes first baseman Rudy Gomez, but he's okay. Wow. Listen to the hand as Rudy Gomez comes out of the dugout. Well, we've had an inside the park home run and an over the railing catch. Catcher Jeff Mathis made the play. Gomez trying to hold up, got to the railing of the Western Division dugout, and man, he went spikes over appetite into the dugout. Dustin DeLucchi takes a called strike. It's 0-1. Gomez fouls out to the catcher Mathis, and it's first baseman Gomez who winds up, spikes at 12 o'clock high and goes over the railing and into the dugout. Called strike 2 to DeLucchi. Good fastball over the part of the plate. And you can tell it's an all-star game because the guys came to make sure he wouldn't hit the deck. Here's the 0-2. Sails way high to Dustin. Dustin DeLucchi representing the San Antonio Missions and the Seattle Mariners. He's flown to left and bounced to short. Here's the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch, and that's just outside. Had a chance to visit last night with Mickey Holt, who is the public relations director with the Missions, and said to my great friend and the dean of the Texas League, Roy Acuff, might be listening in tonight. Roy, best always to you. Here's a one-hopper, boy, little rune service to first base, gratuity not included. So Rudy Gomez, who went all the way into the dugout, now makes an easy play on this one, and for the second straight inning, the West goes quietly, 1-2-3. We'll give you the all-star totals in just a moment after 5 complete. Super Chat score of the ball game is the East 4 and the West 3. Oh boy, here we go, changes. Kiger. Marlon Williams. Alrighty. That's Shane Bazell. Well, we have played 5, and while the Hounds crew redoes the infield, changes galore for the West. And one of them is a guy who's not even on the roster, and that's because we were not told that he was going to be a last-minute replacement. We can explain to you why he is here, however. For the West, now playing second base is Rockhounds representative Mark Kiger. Now playing shortstop is Sergio Santos. And Marlon Williams moves from the designated hitter spot to center field. We'll see how that will impact the lineup. So we won't give you the batting order just yet because we'll have to see what changes, because Webby could have made multiple, or could have made a little bit of a, in essence, a double switch. Also now catching for the West is Chris Snyder of El Paso. Now pitching for the West is Shane Bazell. So all sorts of changes. We'll see again how they impact the batting order. But it is Bazell who will come on in the 6th inning. Matt Henry goes 1 inning. And we'll give you these in place of our fast stat totals or along with them from Pro Communications. So Shane Bazell is now pitching. Chris Snyder is now catching. Marlon Williams moved to center from the designated hitter role. Mark Kiger is now playing second, and Sergio Santos is now the shortstop. After all of that, Will Smith pops foul straight back out of play. Now, Mark Kiger is not on the All-Star roster, and folks, that's because we didn't know he was going to play. Freddie Bynum was supposed to be in this game from the Rockhounds, and he was called up as of virtually now. Ground ball right side. This is Mark Kiger. And the Rockhound will make the play. Will Smith grounds out to Kiger at second. And there's one man out. Freddie was called up to AAA Sacramento. They had an injury and needed him. The hope was that Freddie might be able to play in this game before going up. But they simply put need his presence, and so Freddie had to depart today. Mark Kiger was then given the okay be one of the substitutes on the All-Star team. Shane Bazell, and this is outside of Nick Gorneau. Big 2-run homer in this game for Nick. Takes a called strike here, 1-1. So those are your changes. The fast stat totals: 4 runs, 7 hits for the East, 3 runs, 5 hits for the West in the All-Star game has been errorless. Slider low and away. This guy, Nick Gorneau, started the scoring with a 2-run homer in the second. And he really ripped it. It was into the wind. 2 more home runs later, both wind-aided, swinging a foul straight back. Marlon Williams, who is now in center, was the DH at the time, an inside the park home run. And then Josh Kroger, a wind-blown homer that got that short right field porch. And we've got a 4-3 ball game, 3 home runs. Gorneau waits, 2-2 pitch by Bazell. Line shot up the middle, almost took Shainer's hat off. Base hit number 8 for the Eastern Division. Now, when you talk pitchers of record, speaking of Pro Communications fast stats, because this is an all-star scenario where nobody goes very long, that is in a situation such as this, unless the lead changes hands, of course, that is scorekeeper's decision and his judgment. Now, if the lead changes hands, then, of course, it's just like any other ballgame. Bazell's pitch, fastball runs high to Jaime Jones. Jaime representing the Tulsa Drillers and the Colorado Rockies. One of our friends listening in Tulsa got a young man who's from right here in Midland, Jason Nick, really starting to swing the bat. Here's a little check swing foul ball. Jason had a really slow start average-wise, hit for some power. When the Drillers visited First American Bank Ballpark just a couple of weeks ago, Jason was under 200. He's finished the half pushing 230, and that means he has really started to swing the bat. 13-game hit streak just before the end of the half for Jason. 1-1 pitch, ground ball, right side. Here's Mark Tiger. Actually, it's going to go to self. Underhands to Bazell, covering the bag for the out. 3-1 to put out. Heine Jones retired. Advancing to second, Nick Gourneau. And the batter is Rudy Spikes over Appetite Gomez, who went into the dugout to try to make a catch. And actually, the catch had already been made by Jeff Mathis. So, boy, you can't fault the effort, can you? Looks like both teams, by the way, will make pitching changes here. Here's a swing out of this. Gomez 0-1. So both starters, Jeff Francis and Shane Comine, go 2 innings. There are 8 pitchers on each staff, and that means pretty much everyone else on the staff will go 1 inning. And that's pretty much the way it's designed. The 0-1 pitch is ripped towards short, and there to make the play is Santos on a short hop, comes up, and a terrific shortstop from El Paso makes the play. So, no damage done, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. Shane Bazell pitches a scoreless 6th inning. Got a little trivia coming up for you, and it is revolving around Texas League All-Stars of a while ago and one of the greats of the game. We will do that coming up. Supercuts score the game after 5.5. Remains the East 4 and the West 3. Chris, I'm sorry, I punted that idea. I apologize. I'm just a mess here trying to see who goes where and all that stuff. Oh, my.
What will you go with?
34 pitching.
He says, correct? Today, Frank White from here, working with the head manager of the Wichita Raiders now in your game. Who won the MVP when Midland last hosted the Texas League All-Star game in 1996? How will we get this question right? It's Papa John Cecil for you. Is that Richard Hidalgo is now playing with the New York Mets? He's both the Boston Red Sox, or Aaron Giles of the Kansas City Royals. All right, it's going to 3. Former Phillies, so Aaron Giles, of course, the answer to that question. So, Alvin, you've got
all right, good deal. We come to you from First American Bank Ballpark, where it is the East 4, the West 3. And lanky left-hander Jonathan Rowenhorst is on the pitch for the Eastern Division. Jonathan, again, one of the additions to this ball club out of Biola College in the state of California. Boy, they had a great NAIA basketball program, as I recall, a number of years ago. Jonathan, left-hander from the Arkansas Travelers. 2-5, but he's pitched exclusively in relief. He's got a fine 3.38 earned run average. Jonathan Rowenhorst is on the pitch. He is a Californian, by the way. He's pitching in the Angels organization, and he's from Anaheim. Now, he will face, let me make sure that I'm getting this right, that's Sergio Santos, who has replaced Tommy Whiteman. So Santos is batting number 2, and we can now complete the order then from the West, and there will be changes for the East as well now. Sergio Santos fouls it back. Well, this is a fellow that the Arizona Diamondbacks fully believe will be playing at the Bob before too long. Here's the 0-1 to the right-handed hitter. Takes a fastball strike right down the pipe. Changes in the Eastern Division infield. Pitch high and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tulsa's Danny Sandoval is now the shortstop. And I think that's Edgar Gonzalez playing second from Cristobal. I've got to double check on the uniform number. Pitch to Santos, and he lines one into left field. He reaches out and just yanks an outside pitch. And Sergio Santos has a base hit to left field. Boy, just reached out and just looped that thing into left. I think sure that is, yeah, that is Edgar Gonzalez, and I wanted to make sure. The shortstop is now Danny Sandoval. So we can also tell you then that put Mark Kiger in the West lineup batting 7th. There's no other place No, I shouldn't say that. We'll see if here's a shot out to shortstop. Sandoval's got it. Flips to Gonzalez for one. Trying for the double play. Scoops on the little backhander. They got him for the double play. Josh Kroger bounces into a 6-4-3 double play. Kroger, who has homered now in 3 trips, get a sharp one hopper. Sandoval picks it clean, backhanded on the short hop, and a 6-4-3 double play wipes out the first base hit. Let me see if it is Chris Snyder who comes on deck, and he does. So Chris Snyder is now batting 5th, replacing John Baker. And that means that Mark Tiger is indeed now batting 7th and playing second base. Todd Self swings and loops one foul out of play 0-1. The interesting thing is that Webby did away with the designated hitter. Now, I don't know if there's such thing as special All-Star Game dispensation, and maybe Dustin DeLucci can stay in the game as DH. That I do not know. We will find out together. I don't think there's anybody else in the lineup. Here's a swing and a line drive into left field coming on, and sliding to make the catch is Will Smith. Terrific play by the Rough Riders left fielder, who then flings the ball into the stands as souvenir. That's a terrific catch by Will Smith. Folks, I didn't get a chance to give you our trivia. Well, we will just tell you compliments of Phototech. We'll hold the trivia for our next Rockhounds game, because that was one quick inning with all sorts of stuff happening. So it is no runs on a base hit, no errors, and on the double play, nobody left. All-Star games can be pretty quick. After 6, Supercuts score the ball game, continue to read the East 4 and the West 3. Jimmy, I just got the lineup squared away, and the inning's over. So much for that, Jimmy. Mike Burns on the pitch for you, a good one. Ooh. Yeah, well, kind of. After that, Danny Sandoval. All right. Well, we have played 6 innings. Boy, time flies when you're having fun. Mother Nature's been a player here tonight, no doubt about it. So these two teams have played a pretty entertaining ball game. We've had 3 home runs. One was an inside the park home run. We've had a guy go over the railing to try to make a catch. A little bit of everything tonight. Guy who is you just have to stop, and again, as I like to say, just tip of the cap in the broadcast booth for this guy. Mike Burns is having a phenomenal year. Burns, after making a conversion from starter to reliever, has been terrific. Last year in a mixed role for Round Rock, he had a 6.13 ERA. Folks, I want you to check his numbers. That was 6.13 last year. As a reliever this year, in 30 games for the Express, 1.21. Burns' first pitch is to Danny Sandoval. And the Tulsa shortstop chops it foul. It's 0-1. Edgar Gonzalez does indeed bat second and taking over at second. We'll see any other changes, of course, along the way. So here's Sandoval, the switch hitter. Curveball hit back up the middle. Got a chance. Tiger gloves it. Turns. Throws across his body and got him. Mark Tiger. Flat leather. Tremendous play. Well, there's a guy who was a late addition to the ball game, and all he does is make maybe the best defensive play of the game. Now here is Edgar Gonzalez. Oh, Mark Tiger, terrific play at second base. Sean Garrett does come out on deck. Boy, that's a good play. Swing and a miss, pitch a little up in the zone. Mike Burns is one of those guys that comes out of a big program, UCLA, with a 30th round draft choice of the Astros. And he is just absolutely, in 2004, as he delivers low and away here, all of a sudden this guy is on track for the big leagues. I mean, 1.21 ERA, and he's been that way right from the get-go. Here's a little looper into right. That'll sink and drop. Little Vegematic base hit as Edgar Gonzalez gets the slicer-dicer into shallow right field. Shane Dazelle for the West, representing the Rockhounds of the Oakland Athletics. 1 inning, 1 hit. The runs in this game came in the first 3. We've had wind, ironically, not before the game, but just after the game began, and it's been windy as the dickens ever since. Here's Sean Garrett with Dallas McPherson on deck. Pitches up high from Mike Burns. Burns actually had a great year with West Michigan in the Midwest League in 2002. He had a 2.5 ERA and won 14 games. Pitched to the dirt. Snyder blocked it, couldn't find it, but Chris retrieved the El Paso catcher. 2 balls, no strikes. So when Burns last year struggled in his first trip to Double-A, I'm sure he was pretty much just lost in the pack, if you will, but he has just stepped up huge this year, and we haven't seen Round Rock in a while. Pitch high, got the outside corner, 2-1, 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch just nipped the outside corner, just under the letters. And we haven't seen Mike for a while, and his numbers now, every bit as good as they were early in the year, so he's just been great all season. Good fastball on the outside corner called strike 2 and 2. Garrett thought that was a little bit wide. Last 2 pitches been borderline pitches. 2 and 2. Sean Garrett, 1 for 3. Struck out twice and doubled in the 5th. Sean Garrett representing the Tulsa Drillers. One of the league's top 5 hitters virtually all season long. Runner goes. 2-2 pitch taken. Here's the throw by Snyder, but it's well wide. Santos gloves it, but not nearly in time. Edgar Gonzalez with a stolen base, and the count goes full, 3 and 2. The East leading the West 4-3. And the count now full. Big bolt of lightning. Well, it seems like there's a lightning bolt just stationed beyond the left field wall. 3-2 pitch by Burns. Ground ball towards second base. Tiger makes the play. Edge of the grass. He'll have to hurry a little, but he does. And Garrett is out with some ease. Moving to third is Gonzalez, and oh man, here comes Dallas McPherson. 2 for 3. Single and a run scored. An RBI single off the right field wall, and struck out. When I say a single off the right field wall, for those listening on the internet who have not been to this ballpark, it's a short porch in right in front of the home bullpen. Pitch to McPherson runs low. Right here, a tremendous matchup. You have certainly one of the league's premier relief pitchers in Mike Burns against maybe overall the league's premier hitter in Dallas McPherson, and he pops it to second base. Here's Tiger. Boy, it's the Mark Tiger show. Late addition makes all 3 assists in that inning, including what turned out to be a run-saving play to start the inning. So again, 1 hit but no damage done as Mike Burns has a scoreless inning for the West, and the margin remains 1 run. 7th inning stretch, all-star style with our Supercut score of the game. The East 4, the West 3. All right, thanks, Chris. Seventh inning stretch here at First American Bank Ballpark, and a Texas Tech Red Raider. I did not realize that, by the way, or I had actually forgotten it last night at our West Texas Sports Banquet memorabilia auction. And when we introduced Stephen Rowe, I forgot to mention this too, like John Weber, former Texas Tech Red Raider. Big right-hander with the Frisco Rough Riders is on the pitch. He will face Chris Snyder, John Weber, and Mark Kiger, so 2 out of those 3 will be Rockhounds. Chris Snyder took over for John Baker. Bake winds up 0 for 2. And Jeff Smith of Frisco now takes over as the catcher. Those are the only changes that I see, although I think I need to check right field. Let me see here. Double check my card here. No, that's still... No, hang on a second. We have a new right fielder as well. We might. No, that's still Jaime Jones of Wichita. Have I been saying Jaime Jones of Tulsa? I have. Wrote it down that way. I have on that. I apologize for it. That's my mulligan. I have too. Boy, it says I ought to keep this card for posterity. I wrote it down that way. Will Smith in left field is from Frisco. Jaime Jones from Wichita. I mean, I owe you one big time. And when we see the Wranglers next, we'll treat Jaime Jones extremely well. Here's Chris Snyder now. And he faces Stephen Rowe. Fires a strike over the inside corner. Jonathan Rowenhorst of Arkansas. 1 inning, 1 hit. Pitch by the big right-hander is nubbed off the end of the bat. Chris Snyder of El Paso, replacing John Baker. Chris has been a 300 hitter most of the year, and he's got some pop in that bat. Chris hitting .298. Cohen Stadium, not necessarily a home run haven. Chris double digits with 10 home runs. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, back up pitch, got it, called strike 3, and Chris knew it. A terrific pitch there by Stephen Rowe. And here's John Weber. And you know, when I'm mentally close, I'm kicking myself over saying Jaime Jones is Tulsa. Please forgive me for that, because in fact when I wrote down the defensive lineup, sounded kind of insinuating. You have Mr. Smith in left and Mr. Jones in right. Mr. Smith is from Frisco. That's Will Smith. That's Jaime Jones from Wichita in right. So Smith and Jones patrolling left and right for the East. John Weber takes high for ball 1. Webb has singled and struck out in 2 trips as the Rockhound. John Weber, a guy who toiled for 2.5 seasons of independent baseball. Abe signed him last year. Swings and fouls one away. 1-run ball game, and it doesn't feel like that because the East has had the lead the entire night. They took took a 2-run lead in the second. Nick Gourneau's home run. And got 2 more in the third. The West got 3 in the third, including a Marlon Williams inside the park home run. Here's Weber with a drive to straightaway center field. With time and room, Nick Gourneau drifts to his left and makes the play. Weber, a well-hit ball, but just a long out. And here's Mark Kiger. Well, you won't find Mark in the program. You won't even find Mark in the media notes, because the decision that Freddie Bynum had to go to Sacramento today was made very late. It left the West short a player, and apparently after getting the okay just before game time, Mark Kiger gets a chance to play in the All-Star game and takes a strike. Mark has made maybe the best defensive play of the game already. So Mark Kiger, University of Florida product, 0-1 the count, replaces Brooks Conrad. He's a ground ball between third and short, to his left, gloving it. Dallas McPherson, he's got it, throws a little wide, good stretch, and Rudy Gomez is there for the third out. And so the 7th inning is in the books. 1-2-3 for the West. And Stephen Rowe records the 4th 1-2-3 inning of the night for the Eastern Division. So after 7 complete, we'll give you some totals here in a couple of moments. Our Super Cup score of the game remains the Eastern Division 4 and the West 3. Sorry, I was just flipping copy. Yeah, they had it wasn't necessarily a direct promotion. They had somebody got hurt. I think it was either Swisher or Stanley, and I haven't been able to determine which, but one of our former guys. But yeah, they need him in center field, so he went up today. Yeah, he's been actually doing some good. He's really been slumping. Yeah, he just had one of those rough stretches, and everybody gets him. Good boy, you. All ready? Pete Sakaras is on the pitch from the El Paso Diablos. As we will go to the top half of the 8th inning in what is still a 4-3 ball game. For Mike Burns, by the way, an inning which has been pretty much the pattern. McClaskey, Henry, Bazell, and Burns each going one inning, each giving up one hit. Matt Henry also gave up a walk, but none of them gave up a run. So Pete Sakaras of the El Paso Diablos is on the pitch. Our fast stat totals come to you from Pro Communications. Reminding you, hey, don't let the internet pass you by. Call Pro Communications for your internet solution. They really believe in what they can offer you. They're blazing speed, and they support it all with a 30-day unrivaled satisfaction guarantee. Pro Communications Fast Stats. Fast start for the East, and it's been the difference. A 2-run homer by Nick Gourneau in the top of the 2nd inning. A Rudy Gomez triple. An Alberto Callaspo single and a Dallas McPherson single gave the East a 4-0 lead in the 3rd. The West came back, an inside-the-park home run by Marlon Williams. Then Francis Gomez a double, and Josh Kroger got a little push from the wind and drove a 2-run homer into the short porch in right field to make it 4-3 at the end of 3. But since then, 4 goose-egg innings. East 4, West 3. For the East, 4 runs on 9 hits. For the West, 3 runs on 6. And this All-Star game has been errorless. Mother Nature has been a player, that is for sure. And here is Jeff Smith, who took over as catcher, as we told you, for Jeff Mathis. So one of 2 Mr. Smiths representing Frisco will step in. Smith, the catcher, replacing Jeff Mathis. Jeff, that is. Mathis went 0 for 2 plus a walk. And the first delivery from Pete Sakaras is high for ball 1. So Jeff Smith is now the catcher out of Naples, Florida. Takes down and away for ball 2. East 4 and the West 3. Upright stance, Jeff Smith, ground ball, 2 hops, first base. Todd Self floods it, pitcher to cover the bag, underhand toss to Sakaras in time, and it's 1 down, nicely handled. With Todd Self, and I've heard a lot of talk, deservedly so, of Dallas McPherson and some of the other players in the league, but Todd Self is another one of those guys from Round Rock who got off to an outstanding start, and he has just never looked back. He's still hitting .340. Todd Self, the first baseman making that play from one Mr. Smith from Frisco to another. Here is Will Smith. He swings to the first pitch and hits one to left field. This ball could do some damage if it stays fair, but no. It'll find the grass berm. A little island over there in the left field corner, 0-1. Jeff Smith of Frisco, followed by Will Smith of Frisco. Will is an outfielder. He was a starter. He is 0 for 3. He's hit the ball hard 2 out of 3 times up. He lined out to right and then lined out to left. And has also bounced to second base, so he doesn't have anything to show for it, but he's swung the bat pretty well. Sakaras is 0-1 pitch grounded. That's a fair ball down the right field line. He's got something to show for it now. That'll get into the right field corner. Kroger will have to dig it out. And going to hold him at second base. Tom Runnels doing the third base coaching duties, and Will Smith has a double-digit base hits now for the East. That's the 10th base hit of this ballgame. And the pattern has been something else. Tim McClaskey, 1 inning, 1 hit. Matt Henry, 1 inning, 1 hit. He also walked the guy. Shane Bazell, 1 inning, 1 hit. Mike Burns, 1 inning, 1 hit. Do you set the pattern for me? And Pete Sakaras. A base hit here to Will Smith. Now Nick Gourneau. Huge bolt of lightning flashes against that gray backdrop. Sakaras delivers. That ball hit hard, high and deep to left center field. Marlon Williams has time and room. Wind will slow it down, and Marlon's got it for the out. Runner will tag, coming to third. Throw got a chance, and the tag is there, and they got him double play. The old 8-5 double play, and give a little bit of that, by the way, to Francis Gomez, because he showed no sign, no way, no how that ball was coming. Outfield assist for Marlon Williams, and folks, that is no easy throw. I want to pat Marlon Williams on the back for that throw, because that was into a crosswind just a little bit of wind behind him, and he laid that thing right on the money. And Francis Gomez deked it all the way, never showing that ball was coming. 8-5 double play ends the top of the 8th inning. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Supercuts score of the game. The East 4, the West 3. That's been an entertaining game. They're always so strange to do because of the changes and just the way. There you go. Ryan Fire out again. Yeah, please just glance at that. 7,000 fans. 7,112. For this market, that's spectacular.
And the attendance winner, Walter Davis, getting 7,024. So Walter Davis has got 3. And then Frank Carr, final for you. And another being in 300 booth, select your card. The selection is in number 22, Marlon Williams.
All right, good timing. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Ryan Fire, the Tulsa Drillers, on the pitch, and he fires a strike to Marlon Williams. Marlon Williams, boy, he had a ball game here. He makes a terrific throw from center field, and he's also got an inside the park home run. Check swing, strike 2 against a big, tall right-hander. One of those terrific reasons that Tulsa won the first half title in the East. Ryan, 23 saves. Leads the Texas League. The 0-2 way low and away and back to the screen. Or as the great Harry Doyle once said, just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. 1-2. By the way, the answer to our question, you know it's an all-star game when a guy can start the game in center field and finish the game to DH. But that is the case. David DeLucchi will still hit leadoff, and that's obviously agreed to beforehand. Pitch high and in, 2-2. Well, we saw Ryan Fire in that recent series just concluded in back to Rocktown, finished the first half in Tulsa. Ryan has just been spectacular. Here's the 2-2. Up high, ball 3. Fire's ERA, befitting of his 23 saves, a 1.42 earned run average. So this guy has just been lights out. Here's the 3-2. Chopper over the pitcher's glove, charging hard, Sandoval shortstop, can't make the play, and that'll be a base hit for Marlon Williams. The tying run is on base. Boy, if the West were to come back and win this thing, and I never say that in a regular season game, but I'll say it here. If the West were to come back and win this, Marlon Williams might well be a pretty good MVP candidate. And now here's Francis Gomez. Boy, and give Gomi a little bit of credit again on that play from center field, because he showed no sign that ball was coming in. There goes Marlon Williams. The pitch is high and away. The throw nowhere near in time. Got that base wiped. Tying run in scoring position. Boy, you know, I'm talking with Chris Marquez, my friend and in-studio producer engineer, in the break, and when you host an all-star game, folks, it is just wire to wire for about 48 hours, but even with the diesel lag and fog, here's the pitch low and away, ball 2. This has really been an entertaining all-star game. You've got 3 home runs, one of them an inside-the-park home run. You've got the great defensive efforts, and now a 1-run game. Runner in scoring position. Gomez swings and chucks it foul. Now, before you ask, this I can tell you, there would be no extra inning. All-star games, the all-star game will go 8.5 or 9. depending on what the West does here. But it will not go 10, so you can have a tie game. The East scored 2 in the second on a Nick Gornell home run. They scored 2 more in the third. And the West came back. Here's a chopper right side, going to move the runner up. Second baseman double clutched and throws just in time to Gonzalez. And another good play by Rudy Gomez. But Gomez does his job. Francis Gomez grounds out. Rudy Gomez, good play. But that pushes the runner to third. So here's Dustin DeLucchi, who is technically now the designated hitter, although you would never see that in a regular season game. Dustin began the game in center. Marlon Williams took over for him there. So the benches are now all used up. So here's DeLucchi, tying run at third. Now DeLucchi's a good bunter. The infield is in. Dustin takes low and in. Well, this is terrific, and it looked for a while earlier on in this game like we weren't going to get this game in. Not only will that not be the case, hope the fireworks will still be A-OK, but terrific game. 1-0 pitch, ground ball, foul wide of first. Let's reset the scene for you one time. 2004 Texas League All-Star Game, sponsored here at First American Bank Ballpark, and want to say a great word of thanks to the Permian Basin area-wide phone book. 4-3 to East, runner at third, 1 down, bottom of the 8th inning, infield in for DeLucchi. Pitch to Dustin, Tapper back to the mound. Spire makes the play and throws for the second out. It'll take a base hit. And the batter is Sergio Santos, representing the El Paso Diablos and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Sergio replacing Tommy Whiteman. Tommy, well, as he said, what a weekend he's had, going up to his hometown of Oklahoma City to play for the Oklahoma Redhawks. Does go 0 for 2 in this game, but he's really having a great year. Now Sergio Santos 1 for 1, infield back. Pitch for Santos, punches it foul. He really reached for that good pitch by Spire. Ryan Spire will drop down and give you not quite a submarine look, but almost. And as a tall right-hander at 6'7", 200 pounds, that can be intimidating. Doesn't always work at this level or above, but for Spire it's been extremely efficient. He drops down, delivers up high. Really does give you the submarine look. The wind, which has been such a factor tonight, blowing inward now from left field, almost directly in at home plate. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Santos takes a backup delivery down around the shoe tops. It's 2-1. Sky is a dark gray all the way around us. Breeze blowing. We're playing under GE light now. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 run game. Runner at third, 2 out. Pitch to Santos, and he loops it foul. Out of play, 2-2. By the way, the only pitchers remaining in this game, Billy Sylvester of Frisco and Santiago Ramirez of Round Rock. Bottom of the 8th inning. Again, it will go no further than 9. The 2-2 from Spire is low and in. Well, for an all-star ball game, by the way, Hound's crew, and I watched them last night while I was setting up here, and Monty had all sorts of help. I meant to bring the names up and do them on the radio, but he had a lot of help from Prince Folliard. Looks great, brother. 3 to the Santos line, right base hit, tie game. How about them apples? What a ball game, for an all-star game. We've had guys going in the dugout, head over, backside over appetite. We've had inside the park home run. 3 home runs in the game, and now in the bottom of the 8th, El Paso's Sergio Santos drives in El Paso's Marlon Williams. And this is a tie ball game. Santos on at first for Josh Kroger of the El Paso Diablos. Boy, what a piece of hitting. A little backdoor pitch for a strike. By the way, it also gets our official scorekeeper off the hook as far as having to determine which pitcher might be the pitcher of record. That's a done deal now. The pitch is way inside. And ironically, Ryan Spire, who is the league's leading closer, blown save in the All-Star game. That's the bad news. The good news is it doesn't count. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Kroger, and he pops it up high in the air to shallow center field. The wind is blowing. Anyone, and it's the right fielder, Heine Jones, and I'll get it correct, of Wichita, who makes the play. But folks, we're going to the ninth, and this game is brand new. It is a one-inning All-Star game to be decided because there are no extra innings in the All-Star game. I don't believe anyway. I think 9 is as many as we play. We're about to find out. To the ninth we go. Supercut score of the game is the East 4, the West 4. Make sure we don't go.
Let's find out. Yes, it is. We can't do a good job. Keep your eye on the ball. And speaking of winners, time out in Southwestern Illinois biggest fan tonight, and that is Nick State. Nick State, you have a friendly coach as a fan tonight down over the United States contest booth for your pride. And certainly, anything West Coast and random, we have a Southwestern Yellow Pages employee of the night going to 2 up tonight. Ashley Cruz works 2 innings, and Jessica Guzman in the picnic area. A round of applause for our lockout employees out of the 9. And the first thing Ashley Cruz will tell you is those Texas League All-Star Game souvenirs now 25% off for the rest of the ball game. They're getting a t-shirt, certificate, a few other goodies. Good job.
All right, good deal. Thanks.
Santiago Ramirez now pitching. Heine Jones with on plate.
Well, I'm glad he comes to the plate one more time, so I can apologize one more time. Heine Jones of Wichita takes high for a ball. Well, how flat wrote down Tulsa. You know, I don't know if Ace can help me on this and check with our guys. 9 innings is it, I believe. They'll go 10. They will go 10. Thanks, Ace. I knew there was a limit, so that's all right. They would go 10. Heine takes low ball 2. I know there's a limit in All-Star games, so 10 innings. Here's a swing of a high pop fly, left side. Gomez gives way to the shortstop Santos, and Sergio's got it. Boy, there is nothing easy in this win. So 10 innings. 10 is all she wrote, if it requires that, of course, and it may not. And here is Rudy Gomez, who has tripled and scored in 3 trips. He represents the Arkansas Travelers and the Anaheim Angels. And, of course, the Angels, longtime Major League parent club here in Midland. 1985 through 1998. 1 ball, no strikes. Santiago Ramirez delivers, and that ball fouled back. This is another guy having a round rock style year. Santiago Ramirez 1-4, but again, remember, he's a closer. 2.63 ERA, 20 saves, and there's a nasty slider swung on and missed 1-2. So we are tied as we go to the ninth, and boy, a day in which the weather was great for the All-Star Golf Tournament. Here's the 1-2, way low on outside. Not so great for the game, but I really, and I'm not doing public relations here, I really tip my cap to these guys. I mean, they have played an entertaining and a good and a tie game. The 2-2 lined in the center. That's a base hit. Boy, Rudy Gomez and Francis Gomez were both late additions. They both can play multiple positions. Rudy Gomez is 2 for 4 with a run scored and a triple. And Francis Gomez is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored, and he pushed the runner who did score to third base. Now Danny Sandoval, top of the order. Danny from the Tulsa Drillers, switch hitting shortstop out of Lara, Venezuela. First pitch swing, high fly ball, right field. That is high and deep, and that has got a chance to the wall. Taken there by Josh Kroger. Boy, I was judging that, and Kroger was judging it, and you could tell the wind, if that ball is hit in maybe the 3rd or 4th inning, it's high on the right field grass berm. Here it ran out of steam at the wall. Kroger makes the play. That ball was well hit. Now here's Edgar Gonzalez. Well, the starters went 2 innings, and if it goes to form and we go 10, then the relievers, the closers, would have to as well, ironically. Gonzalez swinging a miss 0-1. In the home half of the ninth, it will be Todd. I just see something coming. Todd Self, Chris Snyder, and John Weber go to first on a hop, and boy, Todd Self bails out his teammate. John Weber, and I will just say this, has a flair for the dramatic and has all year. Wouldn't that be something? That's all I'll say, but it just jumps to mind. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Good fastball strike in the outside corner. And Santiago Ramirez is keeping alive an amazing streak of 6 consecutive relievers now, or at least trying to. Let's see. Here's the 0-2. Yeah, he sure does. Slider swung on a miss. 1 hit, but no damage done. Well, I'll give you an amazing statistic, and perhaps we'll have an amazing finish. To the bottom of the ninth in the 2004 Texas League All-Star Game. Supercut score of the game, the East 4, the West 4. Wow. Okay, buddy, I'm going on record. John Weber wins this with a walk-off home run. Weber be the guy to do it, I swear to goodness. I will not say that on the air, but that's my official prediction. Oh, God.
What's your favorite player? I don't have a favorite. I find them all fascinating. They're all part of a life of stuff.
All right, here we go.
I like it because it's like the king of players.
Well, here's one really interesting statistic, and I'll give you the big one. Each of the last 6 relievers for the West has pitched 1 inning, given up 1 hit, no run. Matt Henry also did allow a walk, but McClatchy, Henry, Bazell, Burns, and Sakaris all gave ours, and Ramirez, 1 inning, 1 hit, no run. It is Billy Sylvester who will come on here in the bottom of the ninth, and he will face Todd Self of Round Rock, Chris Snyder of El Paso, and John Weber of the hometown Rockhounds. Let me give you a spectacular stat. Now, those of you listening in from Round Rock, and by the way, I had just a great visit earlier with Reed Ryan and Ken Strom, who has gone from El Paso. He's down in Corpus Christi now with J.J. Gotch and Reed Ryan, and the guys came by and said hi. And I will tell you, if you're a Round Rock listener, this is just straight up from the heart. I will so miss coming to the Dell Diamond because it's just a spectacular ball yard. And I know y'all had 13,000, a new record there the other night when Andy Pettit pitched. Well, this market is not as big as Round Rock in that part of Texas. But for these parts, folks, this is pretty impressive. 7,112 watching tonight. I think that's a new record. I'm going to double check with Jamie. We go to the bottom of the ninth, and there's a line shot, base hit, first pitch, swing, and it goes into right field. Todd Self is on base. Well, we'll see who wrote the script. Here's Chris Snyder. Now, if you're Webster Garrison, you're managing the West, do you ask him to bunt? Here is Chris Snyder. He's a big catcher for El Paso. On deck is John Weber. That would be just too much to ask, wouldn't it? I mean, really. Here is a pitch to Snyder. He's swinging away all the way, fouls it back. Again, we would play 10, but no more. 7,112. And I'm one that's got a perspective because I'm not involved in, since I travel with the teams and do publications and radio, it's not my part of the operation. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. Throws short for 1. Sandoval's relay in time 1-6-3. But I will just say this, and again, talk about just speaking from the heart to Monty Hopple and our staff. You guys are amazing, just amazing. To do the the ticket sales, everything surrounding this event. David Bauer, got to get a statue in the park, brother. Monty and the grounds crew, Monty in the front office, and our entire staff. Guys, from your skinny broadcaster, you've done us all proud. Bless your hearts. Here is John Weber with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th. The pitch from Sylvester stays high, ball 1. 2 out, bottom of the 9th. We would go 10, but no more. We are tied at 4. It was 4-0 East after the top of the 3rd. This has turned into a heck of an all-star game. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you have us dialed in. Here's a 1-0 to Weber. Just high and away, ball 2. Billy Sylvester. 6'5", 210 out of Florence, South Carolina. Billy came over from the Braves organization. He pitched for Richmond and Greenville last year. Facing a guy who has spent a lot of time in independent ball after his time at Texas Tech. Here's Sylvester, 2 balls, no strikes, pitch to Webb, low and away, ball 3, 3-0. Now, another interesting side to the story, Mark Kiger, who as of this morning wasn't in the All-Star game, is on deck. Weber can run. 3-0 is the count, bottom of the 9th, tied at 4. Sky almost pitch black with lightning flashing. The 3-0 pitch to Weber, he takes a strike, 3-1. Not a great hitter's pitch. Bottom of the 9th, tied at 4. All 4 Eastern Division runs produced by Arkansas. Most of the West runs produced by El Paso. 3-1 to Weber, swing and a miss. He takes one down and away. Kroger a 2-run homer. Williams an inside the park home run. Williams scored again on Santos. In fact, the only guy other than a Diablo or a Traveler who has scored or driven in a run is Francis Gomez of the Rockhounds. 3-2, 2 out, bottom of the 9th. This is amazing stuff. Weber waits, 3-2, pitch by Sylvester. He fouled it back. 3-2. Chris Marquez is my witness just in case he knows why I'm chuckling. Well, if there's one guy you might want at the plate right now, and I just think maybe it's this guy. We'll see. 3-2, 2 out, bottom of the 9th. We're tied at 4. 11 hits for the East, 9 for the West, no errors. And boy, some tremendous defense has been played. What an all-star game. 3-2, Weber waits. Here's the stretch. Pitch by the big right-hander. Sylvester takes flight. Pitch to Weber. High fly ball, but he pulled it. Oh, he pulled an outside pitch. Folks, I got to say, I told Chris in the break, I said Weber wins it with a walk-off home run. Nope, not to be. So this will be the final inning of this ball game, and it has been, to my money anyway, or for my money, a spectacular ball game. Now, actually, the managers are going to meet here. Will we have a 10th inning? I tell you what, Chris Marquez, I will keep this here, all right? I'm going to keep this one here. We will not go to break this time. I want to thank a couple sponsors anyway. So, Chris, let's see. Now, they're going to talk about this now. I don't know that either team has another pitcher. I think that's going to be the issue. I think this game is over. I really do. I think with pitchers, yeah, I think they're going to call this game. I think this is it. Yeah, this game is a tie, and I think that's it. I think this game will have to end in a tie because neither team has any more pitchers. So, Chris, in that case, we'll go to our Budweiser break coming up. But I think what the managers have just told the umpires is, guys, we don't have anybody that's able to pitch. I think, but we'll wait and see. This broadcast, of course, has been a little bit different than some of the others, and I did not get a chance along the way to mention a couple of our outstanding Rockhounds radio sponsors, but I wanted to mention them. Mr. Gaddy, sponsors of our Little League team of the night. The Rockhounds back home on the 28th of June, and every home game remaining, we will have a Little League team of the night. By the way, the conference now is between Tom Kaiser, Texas League president, the managers and the umpires, and Harold Fuller of our staff. And I'm sure, and I'll put this in a nutshell, I think probably the front office is pushing for 10 innings. You can understand that. The managers, I don't think, feel that they have anybody who can pitch. And, of course, thank goodness this is not the Major League All-Star Game. And, I had no problem with that tie in the Major League All-Star Game. I had no problem with it at all. Now Tom is going to get on the walkie-talkie with Monty of our staff. And I think probably they're just saying, look, we'd like to finish this game or at least go 10. I think the managers are saying the ball game's over. Thanks to our friends at Mr. Gaddy's and our friends at Taco Villa. Boy, I'm getting hungry. Taco Villa, of course, back home on Tuesday the 29th. That is a Tuesday night, so 2 tickets for the price of 1. All you need is a coupon available at any Taco Villa location. Well, they're going to discuss this. I think the game is over, and if it is, it's just been a spectacular All-Star game. And I know you'd like to end it, and you'd like to play 10, but I think that probably both managers are saying that Santiago Ramirez and Billy Sylvester can no longer pitch. It's taken a long time. That's the only thing I think that's probably you'd like to see this decided otherwise, but I think this game is going to end in a 4-4 tie. It might anyway.
All right, fans, they made a decision down there. The game is officially over. Both teams have run out of pitchers.
Yeah, folks are going to gripe about that, but that's the way it goes, and that's fine. Listen, folks, this ball game is a 4-4 tie. I think it's a heck of a result, to be honest with you. They could only have gone 10 anyway. And as it turns out, it's going to be a 4-4 tie with the home team rallying in the last of the 8th to send this ball game to a 4-4 tie. Again, Chris will go to our Budweiser break here then in just a couple of moments. 7,112. By the way, I mentioned Taco Villa. We'll do the kids' fun run after this ball game. So, boy, the kids are going to be running the bases probably for the next 2 days. There's so many kids here with 7,112. Well, I think the only thing is you really probably should have just said 9 innings right up front. So we were under the impression that 10 would be possible. But if that's controversy, it's very, very minor. That's just one of those things that in an all-star game, you run that risk, you run that possibility, coming in. And the managers just felt that their pitching staffs were depleted, and that was all you can do. And that is the way this one will go. But this is a terrific ball game. And I think the player of the game is going to be, they listen to me. I think that's Marlon Williams. The star of the game is going to be Marlon Williams. That's tremendous. I tell you something, all this guy did, and I hope they include the outfield assist, because that could have kept this game tied. Marlon Williams had an inside-the-park home run. He singled, stole a base, and scored the tying run, and had an outfield assist on an 8-5 double play in the top of the 8th. Amen. Marlon, that is really, really well-deserved. So Marlon Williams is our 2004 Texas League All-Star Game star of the ball game. Boy, an inside-the-park home run, and again, that's just great, great stuff. Mother Nature looked like she wasn't even going to let us play, but the guys played a terrific ball game. Nobody wins, nobody loses, but the effort was outstanding. Star of the game, Marlon Williams, and All-Stars one and all on a heck of a show, guys. This was for you.
And sure did. Hey, and then just one more question for you. How do you enjoy being here in Midland for all of the festivities around the Permian Basin area like Columbus, Texas League All-Star Game? I was being here all day around there, and that's all I need to feel like I have done and feel hard as I can. It's been really cool for me. The reality is they do that right here. All right, congratulations and thanks a lot.
All right, good deal.
So we're going to move right into the ball toss now. If you purchase the ball for the ball toss, please do it on location when you feel like you can get tonight's winner.
Well, while it took a little while, took a few minutes to conclude that the ball game had concluded. What a terrific All-Star game tonight. We had 8 runs on 20 base hits, 3 home runs, including an inside-the-parker. Late inning dramatics for the home team. Great play by an outfielder who was the star of the game. We had a great effort with a guy going over the railing into the opposing dugout. You can't ask for much more. from Pro Communications and the good folks who have brought you this ball game. And by the way, our next game, and I really meant to mention to all of our fans listening in, no matter where exactly what is up when the second half gets going. Frisco plays at Tulsa, so the Drillers will begin defense of their first half crown at home. Wichita will host Arkansas, so Lawrence Dumont Stadium has baseball on Wednesday. The Round Rock Express will host these Rockhounds at the Dell Diamond in San Antonio. At beautiful Nelson Wolff Stadium, one of my favorites, will host the El Paso Diablos. And our next broadcast, compliments of Pro Communications, is Wednesday night from the beautiful Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. So looking forward to our final two visits. Actually, I hope there's a third because that would mean playoffs, but we will see. This is an all-star broadcast. I will not get selfish. We will see you at 6:45 on Wednesday night from Pro Communications, bringing you Rockhounds baseball. Pro Communications, as we get set for the fireworks display coming up, final fast stat totals look like this. 4 runs, 11 hits for the East, 4 runs, 9 hits for the West, no errors in the game. In fact, and I think you really have to give some credit here, this was a well-played game defensively in very challenging conditions. 4 on 11 for the East, 4 on 9 for the West, no errors in the game. The West stranded just 2 base runners. The East stranded 7, and in fact had a 1 base hit in each of their last 6 innings, but could not bring anybody across. Home runs in the game, there were 3. Nick Gorneau, a 2-run homer for the East in the second. That came at the expense of Shane Comine. 2-run home run for Nick Gorneau. And inside the park home run for our star of the game, Marlon Williams, in the third inning. The wind got a hold of one a little bit. He hit it well deep into the gap to right center. And Levy waved him around, and Marlon Williams did not disappoint. Inside the park home run. Then Josh Kroger of the Diablos drove in Rockhound Francis Gomez with a wind-blown effort to right field. Josh got it up in that jet stream, and Mon Nature did the rest into the short porch in right. There is no winning nor losing pitcher in this game. The only decision will be a blown save for Ryan Spire, but no decision beyond that. And again, the winner, well, no doubt about it, the Texas League. 7,112, and in the league's smallest market, my friends, that's a big-time number. We thank you so much. From First American Bank Ballpark with a very quick wrap-up coming. Our final Supercut score of the 2004 All-Star Game, the East 4, the West 4. Wow.
I'm
going to check something real quick. Checking to see if that's an all-time record attendance. All right. Well, it sounds odd to say, but even after a tie, I'm smiling. This is a heck of a baseball game tonight. I thought these All-Stars in very tough conditions. At times tonight, this was not an evening made for the game that Abner Doubleday didn't invent, but we'll give him credit for it anyway. This is a very, very difficult night in which to play baseball, but I thought these two teams came out and really played a strong ball game. We had, as we said, just a little bit of everything in this game. It goes into the books as a 4-4 tie, and here's the way the scoring went. The East got on the board in the second inning, and by the way, a couple of oddities. There were 8 runs scored in this game. 7 of them were scored and or driven in, or both, by Arkansas Travelers and El Paso Diablos. The only guy who scored a run or drove in a run other than that was Francis Gomez of the Rockhounds. In the second, a leadoff single by Dallas McPherson, who started the night with a big win in the home run hitting contest. Dallas McPherson singled to right field. Then with 2 men out on a 2-0 pitch, Nick Gorneau into the wind. I mean, he belted it. 2-run home run left field. Not easy to get it out of here when the wind's blowing in. Nick Gorneau, big 2-run homer off Shane Comine of the Rockhounds, and the home run for the Arkansas Travelers center fielder made it 2-0 East. In the third inning, Rudy Gomez, like Francis Gomez, a late addition, Gomez tripled to center field leading off the inning. Alberto Cayasco, also of Arkansas, drives him in. That made it 3-0. Cayasco steals second, and with 2 outs, Dallas McPherson will drive him in. RBI for Dallas, who scored one and drove one in, and it's Arkansas 4, the Texas League nothing after 2.5. In the bottom of the third, Marlon Williams hits a 1-0 pitch into the gap in right center. Now the wind had come up and was blowing a little bit across the diamond and very strong. The ball eludes Nick Gorneau. He can't catch up with it, and it rolls to the wall. Webby Garrison is a gambler. He brings Marlon Williams all the way around. Marlon beats the relay throw inside the park home run. And I'll bet Tom Kaiser can tell us if that's ever happened in an all-star game before. Marlon Williams with an inside the park homer, and it was 3-1. Francis Gomez of the Rockhounds followed with a line drive off the left field wall, and with 2 men out, Josh Kroger lifts a fly ball to right. Now, at that point, the wind was blowing that way. It's a short porch, 323 down the line, and Josh Kroger of the El Paso Diablos, a 2-run homer, and that caps a 3-run rally. It was 4-3 East after 3. It would stay that way after 4, 5, 6, 7, and, in fact, after the top of the 8th inning. Now, in the top of the 8th, a key play by our star of the game. Will Smith of Frisco doubles into the right field corner. Nick Gorneau then sends the ball into left center field. Marlon Williams makes the catch. With 1 out, Will Smith is tagging. The catch becomes the second out of the inning. And the throw from Williams not only has a chance, with a good deke from Francis Gomez, they get him at third base. Out is Will Smith. 8-5 double play, and the inning is over. Was it big? Well, in the bottom of the 8th, Marlon Williams. Sound familiar? Inside the park home run, outfield assist. Marlon Williams singles to center, steals second, goes to third on Francis Gomez's good job as he grounds out to the right side. After Dustin DeLucci tapped to the pitcher on a 3-2 pitch, El Paso's Sergio Santos singles up the middle. Tie ball game. 1 Diablo drives in another. Marlon Williams scores on the Santos RBI, and it was 4-4. Each team had a base hit in the 9th inning. In fact, each of the last 6 relievers for the West gave up 1 hit and 1 hit only. Matt Henry gave up a walk as well, but that was all. And I just realized, now wait a minute, I had Matt with a strikeout. Did he not give up a walk? You know, I've been saying that, didn't he? In the 3rd inning. No, he didn't. You know what? DJ Holton did. So, each of the last 6 relievers, and I had simply put that in the wrong column, obviously a lot of pitchers tonight, each one of the last 6 relievers for the West, and this makes it all the more, just makes it perfect mathematically, each gave up 1 hit, but no runs, and it stayed that way into the bottom of the 9th. Todd Self led it off with a single, but Chris Snyder bounces into a 1-6-3 double play. John Weber, we said he had a flair for the dramatic. He ran it full, but pulls an outside pitch high in the air to right field for the 3rd out of the 9th. After discussing with both managers, and while certainly I think the fans in the front office certainly would have liked to have seen a 10th inning, it's just simply determined that the pitching staffs are depleted and they can go no further. So 9 innings of baseball, and they would have played no more than 10 anyway. 9 innings will do it in a 4-4 tie. 11 hits for the East, 9 for the West, no errors in the game. 7 left for the East, 2 for the Western Division. I apologize again on Jaime Jones, having him I had him from I was saying Tulsa rather than Wichita. Again, apologies for that. Boy, and I owe Matt Henry one, too, because I had him with a walk. He had a strikeout. So, all those last 6 relievers, 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs. Pretty good recipe right there. So this one will go in the books in a 4-4 tie. Last stat for you. 7,112 is an all-time record for professional baseball in the Permian Basin. It eclipses the A's exhibition game that opened this park, 7,018. It's 7,112, an all-time record. And my goodness, do we thank you. We'll take a quick look ahead toward Wednesday. And it's a pretty special day. We'll tell you why when we wrap up right after this from Farmers. All right, very good. Well, this one goes into the books, a 4-4 tie, and as I mentioned, for the Rockhounds, for the Tulsa Drillers, the Wichita Wranglers, the El Paso Diablos, San Antonio Missions, Arkansas Travelers, Round Rock Express, and I include all 8. Wednesday is a pretty cool day. It really is, because you know opening night is one of the really special nights of the year. Well, in the Texas League, as is the case in several minor leagues, we get 2 of them. Wednesday night is opening night part 2. For the Round Rock Express and the Tulsa Drillers, they look to sweep both halves of the pennant race. And for 6 other ball clubs, they would just as soon force playoffs. As the second half begins on Wednesday, all 8 teams go back to 0 and 0. Frisco is at Tulsa at Drillers Stadium. Arkansas is at Wichita at Lawrence Dumont. El Paso is at San Antonio at Nelson Wolff Stadium. And the Rockhounds travel to the Dell Diamond to meet the Round Rock Express. So we'll have that ball game for you right about 6:45, give or take a couple of moments. We'll be coming out of the Michael Reagan program and taking you to the Dell Diamond for the Rockhounds and the Round Rock Express, and I certainly look forward to that. As we wrap things up, our Farmers Insurance team bringing you all-star baseball tonight in our aggregation for all of our Farmers team. And I mentioned also my friend Danny Urias for the whole Farmers team. Thank you so much, and again, thanks so much for being here. 7,112. Also on behalf of the Rockhounds organization, and I always hesitate to speak for all of us, but this time I know that I can, to all of our friends across the Texas League, all 8 teams, of course, represented here, and in fact all 9 teams represented because the Corpus Christi Hooks were represented as well. I mentioned Ken Schramm, J.J. Gotch were here. Thanks to all of our friends in the Texas League. I cannot recall which of our speakers last night said it at our West Texas Sports Banquet and Memorabilia Auction, but it was oh so true. This is a time when we're just basically a community, a family, and yeah, you go at it on the diamond and you want to win, you want your team to win, but baseball is such a wonderful community, and events like this, evenings like this and like last night are really what it's about. So to our friends across the Texas League, to those who've been listening on the internet, on behalf of the Rockhounds organization, thank you so much. Chris Marquez, excellent job in studio producing and engineering. And for Robert Hallmark, the Morning Drive, for Jesse Grimes, all our friends of the Voice of West Texas, and one more time, for all of us with the Rockhounds, a 4-4 tie in the Texas League All-Star Game, so that's A-OK. All-time attendance record, 7,112. Tomorrow's an off day. We'll see you Wednesday night. Thanks so much for coming on board, my friends. We appreciate you greatly. From First American Bank Ballpark until Wednesday, Bob Hard saying good night, Red. Good night, Leo. And good night from First American Bank Ballpark.